Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv. Tonight, we're going to go out on a political tip tonight. And I want to ask all of you, who should Black people vote for? Party or policy? You see, too many of us, and I say us because I happen to be a Black man, but I don't mean me, but too many of us go to the ballot box and just check Democrat, 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 Democrat. And I'm not going to say I'm the most knowledgeable on politics. I'm not going to say that because you know what? I come from a different school of thought. I'm not going to wait for the president to cut my grass. I'm going to do it myself. I'm not going to wait for the president to do anything for me that I can do for myself. And if anything, my gripe may be with the local politicians because those are the ones that I can reach out and touch. Not always with an open hand, sometimes with a closed fist. But too many Black people are complaining about so many different things, and they're just a loyalist to one party, and that party knows they're going to get the vote. So we don't have to do anything for them. We have nothing to do for them because they're going to ride with us anyway. We're like that, and I'm not making fun, no pun intended, but you have an abusive relationship, and no matter what that abusive man does to that abused wife, in most cases, she's not going nowhere. She's not going nowhere. Even if she has a pocket full of money to leave and get a place of her own, get a house of her own, apartment of her own, or just have enough money to go bunk out on her aunt's couch. That's the way it is. But like I say, who should Black people vote for? Evidently, they've been doing something wrong. I mean, have they been voting in their best interest? Do they hold these candidates to task? Do we move as a collective? Black people are not monolithic. We have many different roads to being who we are today. Some are American born, some are naturalized. Some may have had parents who weren't naturalized and maybe here illegal, but they're here legally. They have a different mindset. So it's not one big thing, but guess what? Not to just point out at other races of people and other cultures of people, but when they go to the box, the voting box, the ballot box, they discuss what it is that they want as a collective. And they sit up and tell these candidates, listen, we have an issue with this in our community. And we need you, if you vote, you need to deal with this because if you don't, we're not going to vote you in. And we won't support you. And we'll be very vocal about it. I don't care how many babies you come and kiss. I don't care how many photo ops that you take with elderly people in our community. These are the other communities talking. We mean business. And when they mean business, you go to these rallies where they go to certain communities. And guess what? They got the businessmen there. They got money there. We will donate X amount of dollars to your campaign. Thousands, oftentimes millions. If you do this for us, you do me, I do you. That's the way it is. But we don't do that. See? Okay, the biggest thing that Black folks seem to talk about, reparations. Reparations. And I say, I'm all for it. But while I'm waiting for this to happen, which I'm not waiting for it to happen, I'm doing for self. And see, a lot of us as Black people, and some people say, well, look at that black paper over there sitting on the table. My skin ain't black. This is what it is. This is what it is. White people are not white people, they're pink. But you have so many people who are delusional and who want to deflect from what we're talking about by bringing up everything else. I remember when I was young and my father was coming after me to give me a little discipline with that belt. And I ran around the dining room table, and he was catching up to me. And I started to pull the chairs behind me as I passed each chair so it could slow him down. He just knocked him out the way and got me. You see, we need to face reality, and many of us don't. See, reparations are a significant demand. The legacy of slavery and systemic racism has had lasting impacts, and reparations would be a step toward addressing these historical injustices. Candidates must present clear plans on how they intend to implement reparations. We sit around picking up we want reparations. But what you gonna do with it? Like I said on the other show the other night, I said if we were given reparations, give it a month before the dollar crashes into nothing, to give the Koreans, all Asians, Chinese, Japanese, whatever else is out there, Vietnamese, whatever, white folks, Indians, other Latinos, just everybody, they're going to get paid. We as Black people who don't know or have any sense or no collective psyche, we would go out there and spend all that money and give it away. And guess what? After the dollar crashes, we wouldn't have any dollars anyway, even if it's not worth anything. You can give me $15. Can I hold $15? Why do they say it that way? Can I hold? What do you mean? Hold my hand. I'm not giving you no $15 to hold. You blew through thousands when you had reparations. You went down to the Lexus dealership. Where's that Lexus now? You couldn't pay the note? You should have known that. What you mean you don't have rent money? You shouldn't be paying rent. You had reparations. You should have got some land on your own and should have built something. Which you're going to hock that gold chain around your neck. Reparations. We don't have a reparations ready mind. Is your mind reparations ready? No, it's not. For the most part, we sit around dreaming. We don't do anything to show that we're ready. Riri, how are you? Welcome on in. Yes, we live. Yes, we live. I can always count on Riri to say, are you live? See, I responded to you. And if I wasn't, the message still remains the same. Black people don't have a reparations ready mind. What are you doing to get ready? You are your own reparations. There are other people who never received reparations, and they're making it happen, right? So I'm not waiting. I'm going to stay right over here with my hand out, whatever. No, I am my own reparations. Discipline. You all know what I'm doing over here. Look, I'm not going to knock the good doctor. You know who it is when I say it. But the good doctor received millions of dollars in donations over the last how many years? About 15, 12, whatever have you. I ain't never been on a Breakfast Club. Right? I'm a little old bus driver, little old correction officer, and took the little bit that I have that we built up, my wife and I, and left the country, left all that we know, and came out and built something from the ground up like a fortress. I'm in it right now. It ain't done yet, but you know what? Ain't nobody give me that kind of money. If I said I was going to do something and said I need donations, I ain't giving nothing. Look, Lance ain't nothing. But look, I got a proven track record, and that school ain't built yet. Millions and millions and millions and lectures and all kind of things sold and pay for this. And I'm not knocking another brother, but the real ones you pay no mind. Not even ask a person a dime to build this thing. And everything I got from the platform went back to the platform, and I'm still paying for the platform. How much you think my website costs every month? How much you think these different programs and pieces of equipment that I have to upgrade and keep up? It's there if you want to help out, but I ain't asking nobody for nothing, because ain't nobody going to put me in the same box as that joker, which he says a lot of good things, and I do support him. And if he comes out here, I'll let him stay here. There's enough room here if he puts that good word out. But peep game. That's all I'm trying to say. Investment in Black programs and communities. Investment in Black communities is essential, like the Latino community, which benefits from numerous programs and grants. Black communities need tailored initiatives to support education, housing, and business development. For instance, scholarships and grants specifically for African Americans, or like I like to say, American Africans, similar to those available to Latinos, would provide necessary support for educational advancement. You see? Oh, no, you're welcome. You're welcome, Riri. Yeah, and Mrs. Scurv. I couldn't do it by myself without Mrs. Scurv, straight up. Let's not forget that. You know, when she comes on, she pops back down. I'm always on. She'll be back on within the next few days. Trust and believe. When they say programs like those and similar to those available to Latinos, you know how many Latinos are Black? But they check the other box because they feel they have it a little easier over there. You know how many Latinos are Black? Check how much bleaching cream is sold in a Latino neighborhood. I'm not going to get on them like that. And you're right, Blacks aren't allowed to assist our people. They're not allowed. I understand that. So that's why we got to be self-reliant. Plan our work and make our plan and boldly go and do it. And we did this with many obstacles, more obstacles than most people would ever know, and we're still winning. Knocked down lots of times, beat down mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, but you still got to swing. That's something no party can do for you. Like I said, what president ever came to my house to cut my grass? I had to get up and do it, and you got to get up and do it. And when reparations come, if they come, then we have a mindset to know to do something with it collectively. Access to affordable housing and land ownership is crucial. Policies that facilitate this for Black Americans can significantly enhance community stability and economic growth. Do you know how much or how expensive it's getting to live in America? Those in America know. But so many people who are out here in Ghana and other places in the world, oh, America, I want to go to America. There's so much money there. Yeah, but they're going to grab the money out your pockets before you get to leave and come back. Do you know how many people go to America? From Africa and other places, from South America, from the Caribbean. And they go there thinking that it's a certain way, that money is going to fall out the tree. And they may make money. And you know the funny thing? I saw a title of a video. What was it? It was $30 an hour is the new broke. It said that. And I heard their plans eventually to raise up the hourly wage and minimum wage to something above that. What does that tell you? Everything else is going to be more expensive. And what's the number one thing that costs the most amount of money? If you don't own it outright, your housing. Your housing, rent or mortgage, and don't have homeowners insurance or homeowners association, excuse me. You got to have homeowners insurance. But the homeowners association who will have you doing what they say, you can't put the fence but this high, you can't paint your house this color. You better cut the grass. If you go on vacation extra for 2 weeks and it goes higher, we're going to cut it and we're going to give you the bill. And you can't even live in your own house the way you want with these situations. I can't deal with that. That's like some person that can't stand you. When you go clothes shopping, they get to pick the color of the shoes and the color of the skirt or pants you're going to wear. Ain't that something? No growing room, no sideways action. That's just the way it is. But housing, I don't know. There's so many people renting, right? And that's not a crime to do so. But you would think Many people who have lived in places for many years and complain about it, that they don't try to make a plan collectively. And I know it is not easy. This is why we need affordable housing programs. Because housing is not affordable. It used to be where you had a bit of a shot back in the time when my parents bought the home I grew up in 1968, even in the 1970s and parts of the 80s. But when those predatory loans came out and people can get those homes so much easier and didn't realize that interest rates were going to go up so high. Look at what happened before 2008 when you had that crash. You had the predatory loans and people were so happy. And they were finagling the paperwork and you were always top heavy. Adjustable rate mortgages, ARMs, balloon payments at the end. They try to get you which way. And here you go, going in with 3 and 4 different people, working jobs that didn't pay much, but you all got in. Family disputes. And when the adjustable rate mortgage went up, wait a second, we were paying $1,200. What you mean we've got to pay $2,500 now? But you didn't realize that that rate was only for a year or whatever it said on there. And it went straight up. And now you were squeezed. And so now you got a mortgage for a house that was probably worth $250,000, but we'll give you $450,000. And you said, you mean we can have an extra $200,000? You mean I can get that Escalade that I want? I can get all of this stuff that I want. Oh, we're going to hook this house up. We're going to take this vacation. We're going to buy that expensive Harley Davidson that I'd always wanted. But you didn't realize that that mortgage was going to go up. And the very asset that you thought you had was not an asset. Just like when they say you assume and make an ass out of you and me. Well, it made your ass sit, like acid, ass sit. It made your ass sit down. Pressure and stress and joblessness. It's not easy. When you get a mortgage, it's your friend because it got you into the house. But as soon as it gets you into the house, it becomes your enemy. Your enemy. You see, you better get rid of it as fast as you can. And if you can, instead of getting a 30-year mortgage, fixed rate, if you can get 25 or 20 or even 15, you'll pay out less interest. And most people don't even know these basic things. But you're complaining about, oh, I need my reparation. And so many other people, like I said earlier, other than us, are going to make a lot of money because they know that half of us are so emotional and we're caught up with what we were wearing our wealth on our sleeve. That's how we are. Assurance of resources. Remember, we got to hold these politicians to task. Black communities need assurance of dedicated resources. This includes funding for schools, community centers, and public services. Ensuring a fair allocation of resources is a matter of equity and justice. Again, do we hold these people to task? They come around to our churches and our neighborhood and they bring turkeys on Thanksgiving on a holiday that we should not be celebrating. Where were we during Thanksgiving? Bringing us turkeys? Come on, man. You can do better than that. Photo ops kissing black babies. What is that doing? And we just so glad to have the politician kissing the babies. And then they don't want to see us no more. Treating us like a one-night stand. Telling us that they love us and how much they're going to do for us. And when they get the vote, when they get what they want, we feel like a woman who's scorned and tossed aside. And we're so used to this that we just accept it over and over and over and over again. Isn't that something? And we need programs specifically for American Africans. There needs to be a revival of programs specifically for Black people. Other communities such as the LGBTQ, LMNOP, HY, whatever, Jewish and Latino communities, they got programs catering to their unique needs. The Black community requires similar dedicated initiatives to address its distinct challenges. And this is what I say on top of that. We need some more mental health centers in our community, because many of us, through what we've been through down to the generations and even just in our own lives, whether it's something where we are a victim or whether it's just stupid decisions and things that we decided to do, and we're off. We off. We're off. That's why we're at the bottom of the rung. It's not just the white man's fault. Wait a minute. We know the system. Like 3-card Molly. Like a game of cards, a deck of cards, or when you go gambling, everything is stacked against you. We know that. But you got the capability to do better. But we do have major mental issues. Look how we get on YouTube and social media and we fight against each other. They're already tearing down the family. So even some of these policies may not even work, because you can have the most beautiful refrigerator that somebody gave you brand new, and you're pulling the box off of it. You say, man, this even has that new smell. You know, when you buy a car, it smells new in here. Until you invite that gaseous uncle who loves to smoke, and he lays a few in the vehicle and smokes a little bit, and it's all over, baby. But imagine you have that brand new refrigerator and you're pulling off the box and that little hard bit of plastic thing that holds it together, but it's not going to work unless you plug it in. We're not connected. We don't demand. We're not holding candidates accountable. Black influencers and community leaders must hold political candidates accountable. They should ask, what are you going to do for us? And demand specific policy commitments that benefit the Black community. Candidates are supposed to provide clear, actionable plans that directly address the interests of Black Americans, Black folks, whatever you look, highly melanated, whatever. You see that? But we don't. We pick the candidate who rhymes better. We pick the candidate who stands and is cool with our favorite rapper. We pick the candidate who spews back some of the lines from a rap song. And we say, oh, they down. They down for us. They'll go in the Breakfast Club and say whatever. Joe Biden, you're not Black if you don't vote for me. Oh, really? And decades earlier, you were calling us the N-word. Come on, you weirdo. Whoever you choose, what have you done to hold them accountable? We just watch it like it's a TV show, and when they come around, it's like celebrity worship. But first of all, we don't even know our own damn issues of what we need to have dealt with. Policy. Like I said in the very beginning of this broadcast, a lot of us go up and down the box and check off everything Democratic. And you the first one out there. People are like, you went there so quick. How'd you get out so quick? Everything Democratic. They just know. It's like that dude who feels a little aroused on a Saturday night. And he has a phone book full of females' numbers. And he chooses the first one, 8 o'clock in the evening, to see if he can get a little action, if you know what I mean. She's not available. Calls the next one. Maybe I can get this one for 9. She's out busy with her girlfriends. Another one, 10 o'clock. Oh, it's that time of the month, 11, 12. What? 1, 2, 3 o'clock. And the one that's being called at 3 o'clock may not be the most prettiest, but she's a warm body and he wants a little action, but he would never walk down the street with her. And that's who the Black community is to a lot of these politicians. They'll do just enough to get what they want, but they won't want to be walking down the street with us. They don't want to see us until we get that desperate urge, or until they get that desperate urge, rather, to come for our vote. And we give it to them. Yeah, baby, I know it's 3 o'clock, but I'm gonna leave the door unlocked. Just come on in. You know, just if I sleep, just go on and just start, baby. That's how we are. They know they got us. and we give it up to them. And that's something. We give it up to them. And then we want to get mad when our hoods and our neighborhoods and our communities and our look the same. Many initiatives that originally aimed to support Black Americans have been absorbed by other groups. Women's groups, the LGBTQ, I'm going to soon take over the whole alphabet community. Latino organizations have all benefited from programs that started as Black-centric. It's imperative to reclaim and refocus these efforts to ensure that Black Americans receive the support and recognition they deserve for their contributions to building this country. Building this country. Broken record, building this country. That should be a rap song, building this country. Somebody spit lyrics over it. Well, basically, you know, you didn't build it. Your forefathers did. Well, if my forefather, your forefathers stole it, made us work from the morning till night. Stolen land, stolen bodies, free labor. Hell, I could have a successful business in 6 months if I had free rent and free labor and didn't have to pay. Oh, I could stack some bills now, couldn't I? And you benefit from that in this system that your forefathers set up, and we don't. But I say still, I'm not complaining. You must show action. For every move, there's a counter move. If you hit me with a left jab, I can drop down and hit you in the body with a right hook. You make a move, I make a move. And it's my move to continue to move forward, no matter what these slimy politicians do, because it's a game every 4 years. How many of us who have tucked a few decades of life under the belt can see the game now more so? What have they done? But the agenda is to keep us separated from our women. Our families are broken. And it's been a progressive, sustained effort from the time I was born in 1963. But nobody's saying nothing about that. Somebody is putting that in motion. We so worried about who's sleeping with who, what's going on in the gossip rag, what P. Diddy's doing. I mean, that one caught me by surprise, and I find myself watching a few videos, even did a show on it. But these things are distractions. Black Americans should vote based on policy, not party loyalty. They must evaluate candidates on their commitment to reparations, investment in Black communities, and assurance of dedicated resources. By holding Black people accountable also to go to these meetings. You know, we have rallies and different things when people get shot or children get shot, and we back at the mall and the club a few days on the next weekend. We got to hold ourselves accountable. If we can't come together and make a demand, well, they're going to keep playing us. See? They're going to keep playing us. It's crazy. So we got to hold the candidates accountable also and demand specific policy commitments. The Black community can ensure that its collective needs are met and its future secured as long as we stay together. We don't have to be the same. See, you got a person like, I'm going to call his name, Tariq Nasheed, talking about people from Africa, Black people, Black folks from the Caribbean. These are, look, and you're talking about FBA? Where'd they get the people from to come build this country? But you're going to talk bad about Africans. And I know Black people are all over the world. This is planet Africa, so don't pull that one on me. Of course, Black people are in America, South America, Asia, all over the planet if you go back all these years. But people like him are there to divide. And the dumb ones of us, we rah, and throw off on other people, doing the job of the slave master, doing the job of the Ku Klux Klan. He getting paid well. Well, he made Hidden Colors. I'm not just picking on him, but what was he before? Talking that pimp knowledge and that pimp game, and they're pimping us today. Switched it up. There's so many on social media who, if they weren't talking the pimp game, they were calling out our black women hairy-headed hoes. And these breeders, you know, they hairy-headed hoes, and they ain't no good for nothing. Well, when you got a non-black wife and you get up there and say some mess like that, but you take down all your videos and nobody calls you to task, but they love you so much now, what does that say? See, I'm an old head. I've been around and seen some things. So it's all manipulation. They want our vote, but there are things working against us as a people. How about that? How about some real investigations on the certain things that are happening with our missing children? How about some real investigations as to why some of us who are young and old don't even get buried with our own organs when they were intact at the time of transition? Why can't we talk about that? Why can't we get to the bottom of that? The human trafficking. And some of these politicians are dipping and dabbing into the spoils of human trafficking. Our young girls and our young boys use as resources. They don't care about our life. Miss D Nice, Indigo King, I didn't see the both of you. That's right, we should give them zero support. Miss D Nice, much love to you. I was going to wrap it down in a few because this was just going to be a short, intense thing. But I'll hang around for a bit. I'll drop the link. I don't know if anybody wants to come in and say anything. I'll leave that door open. If not, you know, sometimes it's the time to do so. Sometimes it's not. You know, and I just dropped it in right here. I'll drop it in right there. All right. Feel free. I'll be on for a few more minutes. But they know what issues we got. And it doesn't bother them, some of these politicians, right? But we're party loyal. Isn't that something? And they can switch parties, you know. And why are they so hung up on wanting to be elected when they don't want to do the job they're elected to do? Why is that? Why is everybody passing us? I mean, I know why. And you know what? Really and truly, I'm not going to say it doesn't bother me, but I can't even say I'm tired of the game. I know what it is. And my issue really, we have all of this power on social media. That's right. Let me put this on the screen, brother. Now, where are the people telling them if you want to have authority over our child, then they need to come pay some bills, help out with homework, cook some dinner, get them up for school, doctor bills? That's right. That's right. But they are encouraging the children in school that they're not who they really are. Well, you know, if you want to be a woman, it's okay. You can go behind. It's crazy, the priorities. And half of these politicians know what's going on. Are they saying anything? They with that. You know how many Hollywood stars have trans children? More, if you Google it. Google it. Let me see. Let me see. I should just turn myself into a Googling fool tonight. Every day I'm Googling, Googling, Googling. Here we go. Celebrities. I got something in my other hand. Can we put this on the screen? With trans children. Why? I don't want to see no video. I want a list. 21 celebs. Let's see who they are. These people are so weak and fake, we have to be bold with them. Where was their hate when we was getting beat down, but they scream and hate about fake genders that don't exist? Exactly. Exactly. Well, wait a second. When did I pull up here? I pulled up pride.com. That speaks volumes. The title of it, right? Naomi Watts and Liev Schreiber. They did, oh God. I don't even know who they are. Michelle Visage, her eldest child, Lily, basically transitioning. Okay, Cher, huge supporter of the LGBT community, and her son, Chaz. Come on, man. Come on. Who is this now? Alexis Bellino, Real Housewives of Orange County. Her son, Miles, is a transgender 15-year-old. Come on. I'm not going to this whole Jennifer Lopez and a 14-year-old child, Emmy, using gender neutral pronouns, seemingly affirming Emmy's pronouns. Okay, these people I don't know. I'm going past them. Dean McDermott, Charlize Theron, Dwayne Wade, and Gabriel Union. You know about that one. Wait a second. Oh yeah, there you go, right there. That's a damn shame, man. Come on. Black folks, Jamie Lee Curtis, the daughter that she shares is trans. Okay, all right. Cynthia Nixon, don't know her. That's a weird looking person there. That's the daughter? Oh man. They're messing these people. Ali Sheedy. I don't know these other people. Warren Beatty, okay. Sade. Yeah, I heard about Sade. While Sade is famously private about her personal life, her son Isaac was open about his identity and thanks to his mother for her support. Isaac came out trans in 2016 and underwent gender confirmation surgery in 2019, after which he posted a loving message to his mother. It's been a long, hard road, but we did it. We're coming home. Thank you for staying by my side these past 6 months, Mama. Thank you for fighting with me to complete the man I am. Thank you for your encouragement when things are hard and for the love you give me, the purest heart. I love you so much, Queen of Queens. Unbelievable. Sigourney Weaver. Char. What is it? What does non-binary mean? What the hell? I think about loose leaf bind. Oh, yes, we got Queen Nefertiti coming on in. I didn't see you. Let me let you on in. I hear non-binary. I think about loose leaf binders. No, I need a non-binder. Adding to the stage, we got Queen Nefertiti.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear, Queen. I'm just going off here. I went off the rails. You know, I get like that sometime. But yes, I'm glad.
I was trying to call in, but I didn't know how to do the thing.
I dropped the link inside. Yeah,
I got
but
the link, but it says Chrome and stuff, and I didn't have any of that stuff. So
oh, I'm so sorry. No, but next time I'm gonna have when you call in, I gotta get what's happening is that even I'm through the phone now. I have all my equipment in front of me, except I have to get a new card for one of my modules so the whole thing can work. I couldn't believe that. I got all these cards and all of them decided to conk out on me at the same time. Little smart cards. Yeah, so I'm going to the phone, but I have my computers on, and this is necessary. This is necessary to talk about. I'd like to hear your point of view as you want to put it out there, Queen Nefertiti.
Well, my point of view is we should just all move to Ghana like you.
Come on, I love to have you as neighbors. We build our own community.
What's the political party out there? That's what we need to be doing. We need to be coming out there. Yeah, on a serious note, I have some questions for you. Do you know, just take a guess, how many how much percent of the population, Black population, is Democrat?
You mean as far as in America?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right. Dumb answer. Dumb question, right? I don't know. I would think that it would be the majority because there's so many people who check the box and don't even care. They just go there. I vote Democrat because the Republicans are racist, not realizing.
Well, this is a hot topic, and I don't know if you stepping into a minefield by saying that, because a lot of Blacks will jump on you for saying that.
Well, I know a lot of blacks vote Republican also, but I don't know the proportion. But I still kind of feel,
Okay.
well, they're the most vocal, the Democrats. But tell me if you know, I'll Google it.
Well, I looked it up. I did a little research. As soon as you started this show, I was like, let me. So I looked at, so 83% of black voters are Democrats. And I would have thought 90%. Actually, I voted Democrat my entire life, all down the list. But for the first time, I'm considering voting other than that. And a lot of black people are having a conversation because your topic is so relevant right now. Like, somebody asked me the question, the same thing that you're asking. Are you voting for the candidate or what are you voting for? And so your topic, are you voting for a party or policy, is a good question. And I had to think, I'm actually been voting for party all this time. But what have you done for me lately? What have the Democrats done for us lately? And what are the Republicans willing to do for us? From my perspective, I am African American. I think that we, not only is this a great topic, but as a collective group, we need to vote for our interest. And who is best. If none of the candidates are supporting all our interests and going down the list, then we need to see what's important to us.
That's right. That's right.
And I was also reading something, according to the Census Bureau, the number of Black-owned businesses grew consecutively from 2017 to 2021. Those were the years Trump was in office. These are just the facts. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either.
From 2017, anybody can Google it. From 2017 to 2021, that it says, again, the number of Black-owned employer businesses. That's not the same as your own business and you don't have any employees. Because it's good to be an independent business contractor like you are, I think, with your YouTube channel. But the real power comes when you have corporations. How many corporations do we own? None.
That's cool. Damn.
How many? We don't own the NAACP. We don't even own BET. I found that out. We didn't even found the NAACP. We don't own anything. And so we know a lot of lists of problems that we as African Americans have, but now it's time to say, there's two ways to handle our problems: within ourselves, coming together, and through the voting, politics. I don't think that. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say that we should all look. I'm not into the whole marching thing, but Black people, if you do march on Washington, you should be doing it to Janet Jackson's "What Have You Done For Me Lately." Dun, 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 dun. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just
no. You can say. I heard you do impersonations on your show sometimes too. No. So it was fascinating what I was reading. On a serious note, it's time that Black people as individuals and collectively get serious about what we're doing in the voting together and what we're doing by voting. And what all other groups do by voting is coming together and lobbying for their interest. And I remember when Trump was just throwing his hat into the ring and it was an uproar, and I was uproared about it too. And then here comes Ice Cube saying he wants to meet with him, and all of us got mad. And in retrospect, I'm like, why was I mad? Like, why? You should meet with everybody to see, because that's how everybody else does it. Every other group.
That's right.
Every other group. And I also didn't know, did you know that Trump was a Democrat first?
Yeah, I recently found that out. That's something I recently found out. But I didn't know that at first.
So I looked up that too. This is what I found out. Trump was registered as a Republican in 1987. But then after that, he changed his party 5 times. In 1999, he became Independent Party. In 2001, he came to the Democrat Party. Then he changed in 2009 back to being a Republican. Then in 2011, he became independent with no affiliation. Then in 2012, he came back to the Republican Party. Why am I talking about Trump? I don't give a damn about Trump. The reason I'm saying that is because Trump obviously voted for for not the party, but for the person. He obviously
There you
voted
go.
for whatever was good for his pocketbook, whatever is good for his interest. So it would be great if somebody else calls in who we need to have a roundtable about this. So I don't know what other
Seriously.
channels are having this discussion.
You want to drop that link in here again, just in case anybody missed it.
And you know
But
what
see,
else? You know what else bothers me now? And I'm guilty. I was one of these people. How come if you say you're voting Democrat, nobody cares in a good way? Like nobody's on your back. Nobody says why. Nobody questions.
right.
Nobody, it's nothing. You might as well just say, oh, I'm going to walk down the street. But if you say I'm voting for Trump or Republican, even before Trump, if you said that, because I'm guilty. I have a good friend who way before Trump has been a Republican. And we used to just jump on him and it's, how dare you, you sell out Sambo. But now that I'm thinking, we never asked why. We never asked him why. It was just like automatic, autopilot. You're a sellout. You're a Republican and you're black. Are you crazy?
Propaganda.
And it's only now that I'm starting to use my brain to analyze, wait a minute, how's that working out for us? How is that? I grew up all over the United States in different places and spent a lot of time in Europe as well, military parents. And I'm like, everybody, when I go to the poorest places, it seems like the Democratic places. How come every other group has a neighborhood except us? When I say neighborhood, I'm talking about not a hood, a neighborhood.
Right, right.
Some ours is called a hood. It's a little bit off topic, but I'm just, so when we look at all the other groups, they lobby for what their interests are. How come if somebody says they're a Republican, even if we're like, what? How come we are not first inquisitive? Tell me why. Tell me what the reasons are. Let's talk about it. Why are we even, why would we get canceled by our own people for saying we're one party or the other? So this is why I think it would be a good roundtable. And then I even took notes for myself, like coming up this next election, because I saw the debate, and I started asking myself some questions as a voter. And the questions I asked myself to consider is, so why am I a Democrat? Why am I voting Democrat? What have they done for me? Why am I against the Republicans? And I had to answer those questions. And the reason I was against the Republicans, and I would want your perspective on us too, like on us as a people. It was like my answers were in my head. This was all in my head. Because they racist. Because they don't like programs for that benefit Black people.
See,
that's what I came up with in my head, and then I was like, well, where's your facts? To myself.
Right. But see, we grow up hearing these things around the dinner table, around the breakfast table, at home, and they subconsciously sink into our mind. But it's there handed to us, and we accept it as gospel. That's how most things are handed to us. The things we eat culturally. If we don't have a family that shows us something different as far as the culinary, we're going to eat the same things. If we don't get exposed to or taught to think for ourselves, critical thinking. Sadly, it's not taught in enough Black homes. Maybe a little better back in the day when we were hands-on, right? But now we have the smartphones, and remember, time has flown. I try to remind everybody, I say, listen, this is 2024. If you see somebody 25 years old, they had this thing in their life from young. They don't have to think anymore. Things are handed to them. At least maybe they have a bigger menu, but they're not paying that no mind. We used to have debates in school, and guess who was a good debater?
You.
And then we had to turn around and take on the other side of the debate that we
That's
probably
right.
defeated. Yeah, and I'd whip them with that too. You see what I mean? But it taught us to think on our toes and to comprehend what's going on around us. We look at the news and we wait for them to hand something to us, and they learn that we can influence a people and manipulate and deceive a people with what we put out there. And the politicians are no different with their tailor-made propaganda to put fear and more ignorance in our mind in that game to get what they want. And we don't see the Republicans fighting as hard to get the black vote. I mean, maybe they will try a little more now, but back at that time, they were about their business. And because they were about their business, we were thinking, well, look at them. They're standoffish. They're racist. They're this. And there are some racists in the Republican Party, and there's a whole lot of racist people in the Democratic Party. You know how they say.
I think most majority of white people are racist.
Of course.
Because of their inbred. And I think the majority of black people have we don't like ourselves. And
we have a sense of inferiority.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I meant
to
say.
Sense of inferiority.
Because it's inbred.
Of course. And I'm not saying we're inferior now. So people who are listening to the show, who don't know the show and know how I talk. But this is why you see many black folks from other places who may not have that thing when they get around whites. Some of them do. Some of them kiki worse than some of the black folks in America. I've seen it. I see it out here in Ghana. But there's something about us when we get around them that we submit and bow down so fast. Because in the back of our mind, I'm saying it, a lot of us think white is better. That's what we were taught. That's what was beat into us, that we never saw ourselves in a superior position, superior over what we display now. So we have that, but none of us want to talk about that. So if we think we're inferior and ain't nothing black that's good, ain't nothing good out of this family, this neighborhood, good came out that's black, they might as well say it. Because that's how we act. I wasn't taught that. Oh, hell no. I better not. I better not accept that doctrine, because from birth, I was built to be who I am. And I don't even act as rough as I can be. I got more gears on my vehicle than more people could imagine. But this is not about me. All I'm saying, using me as an example, I don't have no inferiority mentality. I set a goal to do something and I did it. And guess what? This is only the beginning.
And imagine if you times us collectively, you times African Americans collectively had a goal, and that we said we're not voting for party anymore. Just like Trump. I didn't know that about Trump, but when I read that he changed parties 5 times, what does that tell us? It tells us that he don't have no allegiance to no party. He has an allegiance to himself. And people call him selfish and all those things. Why don't we take on those characteristics? Let us take on those characteristics. Let us be selfish. Let us be self-centered. Let us ask, what can you do for us? Let us not just automatically just rudimentarily, or whatever the word would be, just go and vote Democrat. I'm guilty. I've used to vote Democrat just down the line. I don't even know the name of the people.
But you woke up.
Democrat.
But you woke up.
But I'm saying that because whoever could hear this, are you doing that? Tell the truth. Are you, when you go to the ballot, we usually know who the president is, but if you're not really politically informed, you don't know like who the so-and-so councilwoman is. You either don't vote or you just go down the list. And I have gone down the list. Where's the Democrat? Okay, where's the D? Where's the D? Where's the D? We're not talking about your past experience when we say where the D, Lance. We're talking about politics right now. We're talking about politics. No, I always look for the D. How many of us, how many of you listening, if you're honest, vote Democrat just on autopilot? On autopilot. And you might end up still voting for Democrat after you go through it. But have you really gone through to look at the candidate. Am I screaming too loud?
Oh no, it's just fine. It's just fine. Your audio was just fine,
And your
and that's a
question,
default. The Democratic situation voting is a default of what we go to. Even if they said there
why?
was a Republican that was for this and for that and for everything us, no, but he Republican. That's how we're
And would we
shackled
have
to this
voted
thing.
for Trump if he happened to run on the Democratic ticket? Would we vote for him
Right.
then?
You see that? You see that?
And he's
If he
changed
came
5
back,
times. Would we vote for him? And you said something earlier on in the show. I heard you say we're emotional. Smart people. I'm African American, so I'm American African, so I'm not against us. But in terms of tactic, smart people are analytical and they analyze what's best for them. They don't just go on autopilot. And why? I want to know why we do that, myself included. Why did we vote on him? I know the reason is because your mama told you, and then her mama told you, and I looked it up. We were always, you know this, Les, we were Republican up until the 1930s. We were only Republican. Why? Because
yep.
it was the Democrats who were voting for slavery. It was the Democrats who wanted to keep the slavery. It was the Republicans. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. It was the Republicans that we were with that were against slavery. Probably all of them was for slavery, but for economic reasons or whatever, they was against slavery. So we were with the Republicans loyally.
Yes.
Because they were for our freedom. Then we were free. At least we weren't slaves. We still had segregation. We still had Jim Crow. We still not free. But when we legally got free, then FDR brought out the New Deal. And it was a bunch of socio-economic policies that did benefit us. Union, some other things, voting rights, the Civil Rights Act that came, Lyndon Johnson. So ever since then, we voted D and we closed our eyes. But now it's a different day. Now is a different time. Our needs are now elevated. So when you go from kindergarten to the first grade, that's a great accomplishment. But if you 15 years old is still in the first grade, that's not an accomplishment anymore. We need to elevate ourselves to say, what have you done for me? What can you do for me? What do you promise to do for me? And you ask,
and get that money up.
What are some of the policies? I can't like go down the book. I think you should have we should have a forum, but
no, but we should, and we will, and we'll do this on the regular. You see?
So yes. So I can't just, we should before the election, but I can't just say what all the policies are, but I know generally why I voted Democrat, other than my mama and my mama's mama and everybody voted Democrat, is because in my mind, I think, well, they got social programs to help us, therefore civil rights, just generally speaking. But even this is not even true.
Right.
So when they say civil rights or DEI, which is dead now, affirmative action is dead, DEI is dead, and they ain't brought it back. They ain't talking about reparations. They're not trying to give us reparations. They're not even trying to give us our 40 acres and a mule. They're not trying to give us anything. And what's the case? They just turned down the case. This is all while we're right now with the Democrats. Biden ain't done nothing. The Democrats haven't done nothing. I'm not for or against anybody, but I'm saying, what's the case that they didn't, the Tulsa, they threw out the court case with the 100-year-old?
Yeah.
Like one or a few people, I can't, I'm not intelligent on how many people it was. I know the lady, she's like 100 and.
Oh, you're intelligent. It's just that we're not going to have all these numbers just off the top of our heads.
You said no to her? Biden didn't step in for that. And we've been, and the DEI is dead, affirmative action is dead. And even when DEI was around, diversity and inclusion programs, that was started for us. That was for Black people. That was for us who built this country. That was for us who enslaved. That was for us who gave sweat equity and free labor and slave labor. That was for us who died and got killed. Those programs was for us. So because the laws were so unequal, because the race started out so unequally we were at such a distance. It started out for us. It wasn't for immigrants. It was not for immigrants. Immigrants didn't come over here, and even today, as disadvantaged. They're coming over here, leaving their country to get a better opportunity.
Right.
We never got that shot for a better opportunity. So now more than ever, we need to be an election year. We need to be like, who is going to be for us? And it shouldn't be the Democrats or the Republicans. It shouldn't be Trump or Biden. It should be who answers to us. It should be like a relationship. When you want to get married, you know you want to get married, but you don't just marry anybody. You say, what is this partnership going to do for me? What can you bring to the table? You don't just marry somebody because they happen to be around. We don't just, we should just vote Democrat because we've always voted Democrat. And I still want to know why do we get angry when somebody, a Black person, says they're a Republican or they're voting for Trump? What in us? I'm asking us as analytical, analyze inside yourself, why? I've heard some of the answers because I've had the same answer to my friends who were Republican when I was just blindly voting Democrat down the list. Now I don't know who I'm gonna vote for. I'm not sure because I want to see who is for us. I'm just one person though. And if we don't have a collective voice as a community to come together and say, yo, Democrats, we're stepping back. We want to hear from both of y'all. Pitch us, pitch me, pitch us your best shot. Tell us what you're going to do. Put us in a protective class. What you going to do about reparations? What are you going to do about our economic system? What are you going to do about our housing? What are you going to do about all the years that we've been behind? Who? Just speak up first. Anybody, any takers? Anybody want to have this conversation for our vote? But you know what? Because there's so many immigrants here right now, so many immigrants, legal and illegal, that they don't care about us. We're no longer, when America was just kind of like black and white, then these affirmative actions came into place to right the wrongs, to level the playing field because it was so unlevel. Now everybody else barged down the door, starting with the feminist movement, with the women. And I'm a woman. I'm not mad when they say, oh, we're giving this grant to women. But I'm kind of mad as a Black person because I'm like, well, Black people shouldn't be behind women. Black people should be first in line for every political party. That's just right. So your question, party or policy, I'm no more voting party. Look, this is like church day. When you come to church, you say, I'm saved. I'm saved. I'm not gonna sin no more.
No, keep rolling. We're gonna tarry up in this bad boy.
I'm not voting for party anymore. I'm voting for policy. I'm voting for policy. So I have a question. These are all just questions for us to think about that I ask myself. Why?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Why are all the other, quote, minorities, because we're not minorities, but we're quoted, why are all the other minorities and underserved, underrepresented groups always lumped in with us, like women, Latinos, LGBT, but we are never included with them? Never.
Wow. And then they never fight for us, and they want us to fight for them. Is that something?
That's what I'm saying. So we're
they use us. Right. We help them get over the wall, but when they get over the wall, they never reach back to pull us over the wall.
We have no benefits or opportunities earmarked just for African Americans. None. Forget reparations that they're not even trying to talk to us about. We don't even have a program earmarked for us. Every single application now that I see, I work in the education system. Every single application that I see says, are you Latino? Are you LGBT? Are you Native American?
Wow.
Are you woman? Are you a female? And there is nothing for us in the educational system. I love my Latino brothers and sisters. Mexico's right next door to us. This was their country first. I ain't mad. I love them. I love Native Americans.
Right.
And they have stuff just for them, but we don't. We don't have anything just for us. In our programs at the educational system, ain't no after school programs for Black kids, for African American kids. None. Even the Black immigrants are not fighting with Black African Americans. We're on our own. So if we're on our own, then we need to come together and put our power together. Somebody once told me, you have 5 fingers on one hand, but if you have individual fingers by themselves, you just have little skinny brittle things that have no power. But if they're all together on a hand and you ball up your fist, you have power. 5
That's
times
so true.
power. So we're just running around here like fingers. And then I hate you because you just said you're voting for Trump, Bob, or whoever. So I hate you. And now we hate each other. Now we're all divided. And all these so-called DEI groups, they barely benefit us. They benefit everybody else more than us. And I got a lot of LGBT friends. I ain't never been to an LGBT poor neighborhood. They all got it going on.
For real.
And I'm not mad at them for that. It's because they coming together. That's why I'm mentioning that. So, but when it comes to us, where are we? Where are we? You know, every time it's for us, we let everybody else in, and then we get integrated. Integrated. I'm not sure anymore that integration was a good thing.
It wasn't.
Because
it didn't help us.
Instead of
we did better without them.
We seem to just dissolve into them and disappear.
Yep.
Because now there's no more collective. We're just sprinkled like pepper. We used to be a mound of salt together, powerful, flavorful. Now we're just a speck of pepper somewhere, literally speaking Black.
Wow.
Every application, are you Latino or Hispanic? Are you LGBT? But they're asking those questions not to discriminate, but actually to give them a benefit and an advantage.
Yep.
Where is, are you ADOS? Are you American descendants of slaves? Where is that? I said we need to be called Native African Americans. That should be our new name, and not our name, but our classification. We should, just like Native Americans, they have special things which they should get, because they should get that. They should have their own reservations. They should not have to pay whatever their tax breaks they get, and they have their casinos. You know, they got their own government. We should have access to that type of thing. They're called Native Americans. We should be Native African Americans to distinguish ourselves between the immigrants. And I love my Black immigrants, but they are not entitled to the same thing Native African Americans are entitled to, because they didn't go through what we went through. It's not based on race. It's based on what happened to us and what we worked for. So I might love somebody standing next to me, but if I'm the one that went to the job and worked 10 hours, I get that paycheck, not the person standing next to me. Even if I love them, I work for that. I get that. We have payments that are due. We have 40 acres and a mule that never came back to us. So as we are coming upon this election year, and it's the most antagonistic ever, even if a white person ain't in the room, if a group of Black people are together and one or more say the T word, oh, you cancel.
That's right.
Back to the number of businesses that Black people own. Black people own 2.7% of the businesses in the country. That's it. 2.7.
And so much of us are in prison, and we're only with so much of the population.
That's right.
Go figure.
And we don't even own our own. Do you know that? You know this when I say you know this. Do people listening? We don't even own our HBCUs. We don't even own our Black universities, institutions. Not only do we not own them, they're not even named after us. So
and it makes you wonder.
Have a name after ourselves.
Nothing to build up pride.
No, Clark, Spelman, whatever, all those schools. I don't know all the Black schools, names by name, but they're all named after Caucasian people, benefactors.
Wow.
So not only are our black schools not owned by us, not founded by us, they're not even named by us. At least make me feel good and name it after me. This is what Malcolm X was talking about. Would you rather a wolf or a fox? Would you rather a wolf or a fox? He said at the end of the day, they both gonna eat you. But you have a better shot beating a wolf because he's coming at you with a snarl. So you're gonna give it your best shot and fight going down. But if it's a fox who has a smile on his face, you're gonna think it's a friend. And
That's
you're gonna
right.
get beaten without even being ready.
Find out the hard way.
Yes. This is my question. Your question is about party or policy. I'm adding on to that to say wolf or fox.
That's
if
true.
that's who you have to face in the jungle, would you? What about you? Would you rather face a fox or would you rather face a wolf? Not literally, because I don't want to face any of those animals. But with Malcolm X's example of one is snarling at you and one is smiling at you.
I'd rather the one that's snarling at me, that I know the deal. The one that's smiling at me, because I know the intent. I know how you're coming at me, and I'll adjust accordingly. You come at me with a smile, that may throw me off a little bit. Even though I see that you're a fox, I might not realize you're a fox right away. I might look and say, oh, that's a dog smiling coming at me. Let me reach my hand out to pet it. It might be a little dark outside. You see what I mean? Yes. Like, I'd rather know what's up. It's like the people who say, you know what? In America with racism, I'd rather know who doesn't like me.
Yes.
And we not that we cool with that, but I know how we stand. But it's just like when they compare racism in the South to racism up north, where there's somebody smiling with you and they got a knife behind their back ready to jam it in yours when you turn your back. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'd rather know, because I'd rather it be that way. I'd rather it be just a hostile environment where they all snarling and I'm in battle mode. Things are easy for me when I'm in battle mode.
But you know what's going to happen? You're either going to fight or flee. And in both of those cases, it's better than just being lunch on the fox's table because you didn't even know what was happening.
Exactly. And that's where we find ourselves in America right now. We don't know what's happening. And so many cerebral speed bumps are thrown out there on social media of things that are manufactured and not really even important. And there's so many things changing. You got a guy like, what's his name from Facebook that owns Facebook? Zuckerberg. In Hawaii, built this huge home with the bunkers for nuclear war. All these CEOs stepping down and they're building homes and bunkers. I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody, but what are they got money, and what do they know? And here we are. Don't even know what's going on.
See, brother, you talking about calculus right now. I'm just talking about 1 + 1. I'm just you so far advanced in what you just said. I've read about that, but we're not even ready on 1 + 1, and you trying to tell us about calculus. Like, we're not even ready.
I know what you mean. No, but the thing is that
in a private room, you can't even tell fellow Black people, I think I'd rather the wolf than the fox, without them whooping your ass, without them eating you alive.
Because, see, I know I'm going to take care of myself. I know I'm a righteous hustler. I know that when it comes time to do what you have to do, I'm going to do it. Anybody could be caught off guard, even myself. But I'm constantly on top of the mountain, looking miles away over the other mountaintops, waiting for the enemy to come. I'm not paranoid. I'm just prepared. Mm-hmm. Because I was raised for these times. And people, even the ones who are in church and they have the pastors that will speak on certain things. They're not going to speak about LGBTQ. They ain't going to speak about them people that Kanye West had a problem with. They're not going to do that. But you know what? They don't even speak about being prepared for this day. They don't have people come in to speak and say, hey, listen, this is how you should prepare your food just in case this particular things happen? How do you get your water when the water is tainted? Practical things. See,
That's right.
a lot of us in America, and I'm saying it not because I'm out of America, because I'm still an American. I still have family and friends and people that I love there. So my concern is there. How they say it in the hood, I'm all right. But I'm concerned for those who are there.
Yes.
And they're not aware or as much as they should. And I'm not putting one over the other. But you know, here in Ghana, the economy for the most part is really, really bad. And I have some brothers in the house right now doing some work for me. And they get up. They've been staying here for weeks and will be here for weeks more. They get up here at the crack of dawn, 6 o'clock in the morning. They're working until 9 and 10 o'clock. And you want to see the beautiful work that they do. What I'm trying to say is that why do we have to have a flame up under our backside to ignite the potential and seeds of greatness that the Creator put inside of us? Why do we have to be a crackhead before we get to the calculus? You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to that point of figuring things way ahead of time, walking down the street with a shopping cart and metal 3 stories high to go cash in. I'm talking about not the ones who are going to steal from you, but the ones who come up with all of these ideas to get another hit of crack. Why couldn't you have used that part of your brain? Great black people that we are. It's like when you don't stir the sugar up from the bottom of the tea, it's at the bottom. Our greatness is at the bottom, and we need something to stir up our backsides to show how great that I know we are. See, I got an internal spoon inside of me that my parents put inside of me. So I'm always, the minute I take 2 steps, I'm stirred up. I'm calculating and thinking and figuring out and trying to see. People told me certain things are impossible. I'm sitting pretty right here now. I was there a few years ago. I'm here now. Same guy. Why do we have to wait for an external catastrophe to come? Why can't we get together and vote the right way? And I can understand why some people don't want to vote. But other people are making it work for them. There's nothing wrong with us except our lack of unity. And yes, we do have major mental health issues and idiosyncrasies that we need to deal with instead of ignoring it. We need to repair ourselves. But regardless, whatever state that we're in, why can't we get together and call these people to task? We got video cameras to call them to you. Well, you said this 3 years ago, and I haven't seen it yet. And we gave you X amount of money, and you promised this. Why can't we do that? But we don't want to come collectively with our money.
Let me correct you, brother.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
None of them even said that for us to go do that.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And the other people
talking theoretically, but I'm saying it's been so long since they made a promise to us that I think Obama was the last one that made a promise to us.
Right.
And I'm being facetious when I say I'm correcting you. I just
no. I'm good. No, we good. We good.
I'm like, Brother Lance is talking about theoretically, if they had made promises to us, we haven't even asked them for anything. That's how
true.
Messed up. We haven't even asked them for anything. We're afraid collectively to even ask. And when I say we, one thing I can't stand is when people say, not me, not me, not me. Half the times when I say we, I'm not even talking about me. I'm not even included, but I say we because if we're all in a car and the driver starts veering off the road, we all gonna die, okay? It don't matter who's driving. So we're together in this. So any black person that's listening that said they ain't talking about me, well, you're in the collective group with us, not by your choice, not even by our choice, but by their choice that you put us in. Because until we own schools, until we own organizations, until we own brand names, until we own a politician, and you own politicians by lobbying them to do your due,
right,
and all the other tactics that the other people do who are using calculus and we using 1 + 1 and we still getting it wrong. As collectively, So there's so many levels. I mean, we could talk politics, we could talk economics, we could talk socially, even socially. When I say socially, I'm in this context, I'm talking about, let's say, things that we influence, like culture and fashion. Would you agree that we influence culture and fashion?
Yes, yes, we do. And so many
Okay,
other
I'm asking
platforms.
for a reason. I'm asking
Hmm.
for a reason. We influence culture, fashion, like you just said, and we definitely influence sports. We know that.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
influence music and art, but yet we own none of it. We don't even
None of
own
it all.
we don't even own one major brand that we wear. Even if you wanted to talk about back Fubu and Sean John, they were just subsidiaries of master, and I'm using that word on purpose, master company. We don't own Shiat. You don't own the brand on your back. And I ask anybody listening, including myself, every question I ask our people, I'm asking me. The mirror's right back at me. What is the difference between the brand that they forced upon us in slavery that said Johnson or whoever? Because none of our names belong to us. First of all, we
That's right.
all are named literally by the branding. Since we have been branded and became Toby, since we became
What's
branded
my
with the name Toby, yes,
your name? Hmm.
we are now branded with, we are voluntarily branding ourselves with Gucci and Prada and Coach and everything. And I think we got cows in Africa if we wanted to like get something from Black people. We definitely know we got the resources and we got the gold and the diamonds and the oil. We got all the resources over there in the continent. We're called African Americans. We are descendants of slaves, but we were first African, and Africa is still our homeland. That's why you there. So we have all the resources. And we do got a lot of cows over there, as far as I know. They asked the stupid question, y'all swinging for monkeys. Well, we got cows, and you know what? That's leather. But we don't own one major leather brand, even minor. We don't own it. We don't buy it. We got a bunch of Black celebrities. I'm not mad at them, but they will go on the red carpet and wear all this European stuff. And we talk about Black Lives Matter. So from just what we wear, something social like what we choose to wear, to shooting each other and killing each other or getting shot by the police, those grave extremes, from hot to cold, what we wear and what we choose to wear, that's casual and cool and cold, to getting shot by ourselves and by the police, and everything in between, which is owning businesses or schools or whatever. We own none of it. We control none of it. Even my point is that even the things that are within our power, that we can voluntarily choose, we don't do. Why the hell? I'm talking to me too. Why the hell am I sitting here looking at my Louis Vuitton bag that I spent $490 on? Why? Why? I'm asking ourselves collectively, why? And we know we're not buying because we like quality. We're buying because of the brand. So don't tell me that we don't have an inferiority complex collectively. Why are Jordans from back in the day, and there's a whole bunch of other brands like Jordans, and Jordan is owned by Nike. Jordan wasn't owned by Jordan. Why couldn't Jordan? I'm just using him as an example. I ain't calling him out specifically. Right. If Jordan could bring Nike billions of dollars, why couldn't Jordan have Jordan shoes and that? And then
you might not be calling him out, but I'll call him.
But I'm saying, because if I was in that position, I would probably take the deal too, right? I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I'm just saying this mental disorder that we have from Joy DeGruy, I think her name, post-traumatic slave syndrome, which is what we have. So you know what we do? I'm saying we want to talk about the things that we don't have control over. Say, like, if we get, like what happened with George Floyd, right? So we'll go march for that because we can't. I'm going deep here psychologically. our neurosis. We'll go fight for things we can't control where we're the actual victim, but we don't want to take accountability for buying a $500 Prada bag or $1,000, whatever. So whether we're poor and buying that Prada bag that we shouldn't be affording, or whether we're the celebrities who have influences and we go on red carpets or we go on the basketball court and wear all their stuff. How can we just be mad about, oh, they did this to us, but when we have the gun, the proverbial gun in our hand, economic gun, we shoot ourselves. We suiciding. We mad at those who homicide us, but we busy suiciding collectively.
That's true. That's true. Teach.
These are just things to think about. It. I'm not even criticizing. I'm saying this is for us collectively to wake up. To wake up. We have a lot of things in our power. If there are 10 things happening and 5 are in our power and 5 are not, then we need to focus first on the 5 things that are in our power. Let's clean that up. Let's get that together. First of all, let's stop killing each other. And I know I'm speaking theoretically, but because, you know, it's cliche to say, let's stop killing each other.
But there's many levels to this. See, we physically kill each other, but we also sometimes and oftentimes kill each other's spirits. In the churches, in the neighborhood, in our own home, our own children. That's right.
Yes. So I don't want to hear nothing about what somebody did to you, about the 5 things you can't control, if you're not willing to do the 5 things you can control. Why? Why? Yes. Somebody said, Riri said integration was our downfall. That's a complex topic because words in the English language have different connotations. They kind of mean something similar. You might say the same word, Lance, that I might say, and we might argue. We might actually feel the same way, but if we're kind of having a different idea of the word, like an analogy would be, if when I see red, you're actually seeing like pink, and they're similar, but we're arguing. Like, because we don't know that we actually see it a little bit differently. So to actually know if we agree, that's number 2. We first need to discuss a word. So when Riri or whoever else says the word integration, we first, in a group setting or whatever, need to decide what does integration actually mean. Because a lot of times integration actually means, we really mean equality, right? So we fought for equality and wanted equality, and we should always have equality, and we should have the right to drink and eat and sit wherever they sit. So that is a fact. But other times, integration, in her sense, when she said that was our downfall, what she's not saying, or anybody who says that, because I've said it, she's not saying equality and getting the legal right to eat with them and sit with them and drink their water was our downfall. So but people will misconstrue that word like that. So sometimes, as elementary as a word seems, we really have to get into what does this word mean. So what we mean, and I agree with her when we say integration was our downfall, it means the disappearance of us, the dissolving of us into them. When you put salt in a warm glass of water and it dissolves, right? That's integration, but that salt is gone. Now you taste it still because America still tastes us. That's why we're used with our sports, with our music, with everything, but we don't own anything. We don't own one sports team. And don't nobody tell me, well, few people kind of own a team or whatever. No, they don't really own anything. If I'm just speaking theoretically now, I know it's never going to happen. But if half the Black NBA players were like, we're going to start our own league, like Ice Cube or whoever, somebody had recommended that. Look, and we're not going to ask them for one dime. And you know what? We don't even need your stadium. First, we're going to start off in the biggest place we just going to rent it out. Right? We're going to rent it out. We're not asking your permission. We don't need your endorsement. We don't need your shoe. We just go the best of the best. We just going to play ball. And then the community any race of people, when I say the community, they can come in and buy a ticket. We don't even need to focus on them. Like if we were that way. And again, I don't want to go too far because these things probably are never not going to happen, and they're in theory. So bringing it back to like the reality of like, you know, what can we do? Because feel good talks make us feel good, but it's like, well, what can we do with that? How can we make this practical? But going back to some of those statistics, only 2.7% of the businesses in the United States are Black owned. And that's probably mixed with immigrant Blacks. So if we talk about Black Americans, that's probably even much less, because we know that they have a much higher career and salary rate, immigrant Blacks that come here, because they don't come with the social psychological disadvantages we have of coming from a place of a minority. Most of the time their name is still intact, although half of them got British names, but which is crazy. How you gonna be from Africa and your name is Bob? For real, like for real, just because you were colonized, how much is in a name? And don't say names don't matter. If it was up to me, every single African American, including Africans too, in the world would immediately change their name to an authentic African name. And if somebody said, "Hell no, why would I do that?" Well, why wouldn't you do that? Do you know where your name came from? It didn't come from you choosing it. I don't care what the name is if you get to choose it, but you're named literally. We know factually you are named after a slave owner who owned your ancestors, who branded you and said you cannot be Kunta. I'm gonna beat it out of you. You have to be Toby. And we still carrying it on, calling ourselves free. We're still wearing all their brands from Europe, and half those brands have said racist things about. I know, like Tommy Hilfiger back then. A lot of them have said directly racist things towards us. Oprah had that experience in that store. I don't know if Louis Vuitton store or whatever over there in Europe. Somebody mentioned on your show the other day, like, we are still beggars. Okay. Don't you tell me that I am wrong for asking the candidates what you gonna do for me before I give you my vote. Why are you a slave to the Democrats? Don't get the question twisted. The question is not that you can or cannot vote for Democrat. How did you come to your reasoning to do that? Do you know policy? Have you looked at the policies? Do you know that Blacks don't own nothing? Do you know that they didn't start and still don't own the NAACP? Do you know that not one so-called Black institution is founded or named for a Black person? Do you know this? Do you care? Do you care that all the celebrities who wear brand names, every single one of the brand names is non-Black? Do you know this? Do you care about this? And 90 to 82% of the businesses in America are white. I'm not mad at white people. I'm saying we need to take some of their tactics. We need to take some of Trump's tactics.
That's right.
Trump is smart for himself. All the names that we call him that we don't like, I'm speaking of us collectively, we need to take on those characteristics. If they say he's selfish, he's a narcissist, he's an arrogant, you know, prideful. Well, we need to be all those things. When are we going to get narcissistic? When are we going to get prideful?
Right. We need that
when
boost.
Are we going to say, look, we run this mother effer. We play the ball, we run the balls up and down, and don't let us get involved newly. Like when we newly, quote, got involved with tennis, Arthur Ashe. I know he wasn't the first, but but obviously in our modern day, Venus and Serena and Tiger Woods, and you know, they don't like when we get involved with something, because it's like, oh, here they come, they about to take it over. It's just a matter of minutes. Whether music, the orchestra. I mean, we could play Bach, who Beethoven, I guess, was mulatto, but we could play from Bach to obviously creating hip hop. We have all that, and yet we own nothing. We don't own record labels. We don't own our movies. We don't own our ideas. We don't even own our brains. We don't even own our bodies. And then we're voluntarily wearing all the stuff that voluntarily. That's the cold part. That's the cold part. voluntarily. Imagine during slavery when we got kidnapped, snatched, and then forced in chains, right? And even if we just talk about today, let's forget slavery. Let's just talk about, no, let's do slavery. I was going to say today because the police, when they come and handcuff us, but when they came and handcuffed us and did whatever they did in slavery, or chained us, not handcuffs, put us in chains, we were victims of physical enslavement. And now today, with our no chains on our hands, but they're on our brains, of course, we just hand over our hands and say, chain me. And we chain ourselves, in fact. We chain ourselves. And then we're mad if the Black person next to us is not chained. We as Democrats, I'm speaking collectively again, we as Democrats, loyal, blind sheep, we as Democrats think that we voluntarily put our chains on, and then the person who's free next to us, quote, the Republican, we're mad at them. How dare you be free with your own mind? Now, I will say, having voted as a Democrat most of my life, and all of my life or whatever, until now, I'm rethinking things and wondering, who am I going to vote for? I'm not sure yet. But now, as I'm rethinking it, I'm thinking, actually, we're voting for two different slave owners, so to speak, because they own everything. So I would ask whoever's looking at this to look at your thumbnail and look beyond 2024 and go back. Just imagine, if you will, as an exercise, that you actually are back in the 1820s on a slave plantation against your will. And these two people that we're looking at right here, same color eyes, are the master on one plantation, Master Biden's plantation, and Master Trump's plantation. Massa, M-A-S-S-A. Master Biden and Master Trump's plantation. Now, would you rather be on one of those plantations or get free and be on no plantation? Brother Lance? I think I lost you, Brother Lance.
Yes, you have. Oh no.
Did I lose you?
No. You continue. I hit the mic and muted myself. Oh. And I'm sitting here talking to you, and I'm like, because I'm on the phone. I walked away from the computer.
So what did you say? Would you rather be on Master Biden, Master Trump's, or be free and not be on any plantation?
The last choice, and go by policy. Whoever it is with the best policy, and not even just matching it best, specifically what I want, specifically what we want. And they're going to have to agree, go down the list. This is what, I don't go into a supermarket with a pocket full of cash to hope that I come out with enough groceries for my home, standing around waiting for somebody to fill up my cart. I got the money. I don't have to beg you. You see, we have it. All the money we spend on entertainment, on clothing, on cars, on unnecessary things. Yes, we buy homes and we send our kids to private schools oftentimes. I understand that. But we're top heavy. Like a mortgage loan that the house isn't worth anything, but it's worth so much to mortgage. So it's about policy, but we don't do that because, see, we trust them so much. Mm-hmm. Look, there's no people, whether it's Indians, whether it's Jews, I won't go there, or Latino, or anyone, LGBTQ, who says, oh, by the way, what about the Black people? No, the unwritten word is that we don't do nothing for ourselves. That's the way they feel about us. We built America. We've done many wonderful things. We're only good for entertainment and carnal pleasures. They'll come to us for that. but not much else. And we're in every area of expertise on the planet. Whatever's going on a technological level, on a legal level, on a medical level, we are there. They know that, but they can't stand to see us in those positions. They'll take what we create and take their name and take our name out of it and put their name on it.
But I'm not mad at them. But I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at us.
Oh, I'm mad at us too. I'm not mad. Look. This is what they supposed to do.
And let me correct this, because I know you understand, but just because people be misconstruing and they just want to misconstrue stuff. When I say I'm not mad at them, of course we're mad at them. We're mad as hell at them.
Right,
That's
right,
not what I meant. I meant the wolf is the wolf. If you spend time being mad at the wolf, you just wasting your time.
Exactly.
If you want to get spiritual, if you're mad at the devil, you're wasting your time. What does God say about avoiding the devil? You got to get close to God. You don't wrestle with the devil. So for anybody who would be saying you ain't mad at them, I know you understand, but I'm just clarifying that to say,
right.
I'm not here, not with you. I'm not here to talk about the devil or the wolves, because they gonna do what they do. Only thing we need to talk about them is studying their tactics. That's the only thing that's beneficial. Once
we're too kind-hearted.
Yes.
We're too nice. We're too kind-hearted. We look at the wolf and the fox as though they're smiling with us. And that's all we need, is a smile from them. Because see, our damn problem is we're looking for acceptance from them. We don't need anybody's acceptance to be great, to do what we need to do for ourselves. Why is it that they take knowledge that's out there for everybody, utilize it and do something great, but we feel we're not supposed to? We're apologetic before we even do anything. It's like we're apologizing. I apologize for being so great. I apologize for being so smart. I apologize for being so talented. I don't want to do this on my own. Let's go half and half, because if you're in with me, Mr. White Man, it's going to turn out even better. Why can't we be renegades in this system that they set up? Why can't we do that? We're not ready. And most of us will never be ready, because if we're not ready by now, in 2024, when is it going to happen? After all we've been through. So if they treat us like a whore, old drunk whore who was only known in the neighborhood for one thing, and they take the little bit of whatever she got left for their own benefit. It's to the point where, really and truly, and this is not me hating on my people, but it's to the point where if we don't stand up, it's almost where they're not going to be charged with any crime on a cosmic righteous level, because we're giving it up. If we would have some balls and fight, then the crime and the consequences of that crime would be raised. But if we ain't got no problem with it, why should the Creator? If we don't have any problem with it, if we're giving it away wholesale, just not all the things that we are. Exactly. For free. Exactly. So it happens with us first, because we're an unstoppable force. Look at the mark that we've done on the world with who we are, our talents and our gifts and our labor. And even in our damaged state, we are great. Right. If we would only straighten up, we would be the supermen and superwomen that we're supposed to be. We're accomplishing so much for so many other people in a damaged state. Right. So what if we straightened ourselves out, and it would take time?
Yes.
That we can look at an object and make it levitate. It would get to that point.
That's right. We're in the flow. And my theory is just a theory. I think, speaking collectively, I think we're frightened. We're scared. We're scared and frightened. I think we've been disconnected from our power for so long. An analogy would be you haven't ridden a bike or swim in a swimming pool for many years, and 100 years later, if you could live that long, they said, "Go, just jump on the bike and ride." We are like, what to vote for our own interest, to come together, to unify. Like
Right.
they've terrified us. They've terrified us. And the system is terrible. Obviously, the system, we already know that before we were brought here. They
Right.
annihilated, a whole group of people were annihilated. They celebrate a man's name in 2024 where we know what's up. They still celebrate the same man's name who they know did not, quote, discover this place. So we already know what we're dealing with, but who are we going to vote for? And whoever you vote for, it should at least be analytically decided based on not what you were told, not history, not your mama's party. We in a whole different game right now. Like, who is really for us? And I would ask anybody that's for Trump, why are you for Trump? And I would ask anybody that's for the Democrats, why? Why are you for the Democrats? Why? I've asked this, well, I haven't asked the question, but I've heard a lot of us talking about why we're for the Democrats. So I know some of the answers. Some of the answers have to do with, we think it deals with, we say, well, Trump is racist. Question to anybody who says Trump is racist. I'm not even question whether he's racist or not. I'll just take your word for it. Let's just say, yep, he's racist. Is the other side racist? Are the Democrats not racist? This is my question to somebody who would say, I'm not voting for Trump because he's racist. So A, is the Democrats and Biden racist? And if you say no, conversation over, it's nothing else to talk about. If you say yes, but not as much, then again, are we talking about now the fox and the wolf again? So we need specific interests. Why did we cancel Ice Cube? And I when I say we, of course, not every single one of us, but why did we cancel Kanye? Why did we cancel Candace Owens? Why did we cancel anybody that goes with the other massa?
There you go.
Even if we don't agree with them, are they worth us dividing? Massa is massa. Like, and I'm not even saying it from a racist standpoint, although I don't need to say that. I'm just speaking factually. If we've been here all these years, if we built this country, but we still don't own nothing, we still don't have even, all our programs have been co-opted by every other group who has, if it's a ladder, we're still on the ground floor and they up on the roof. Every other group has stepped not just on the ladder, on our shoulders, and got up on the roof, got up on the mountain, and we still down on the damn floor level, the ground level. Economically, socially, policy-wise, politically, so much politically that they don't even have to mention us. And I heard a bunch of Blacks, African Americans, angry. I don't know if you heard this. They were angry because Trump said illegal immigrants are taking Black jobs. And they got, so I saw a lot of internet anger, and I said, what are they angry about?
Right.
Like, that's racist that he said Black jobs. And they were doing all these memes like, what's a Black job? Like, what does he mean, a Black job? What is a job Black? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, we don't have any of those. Whether you agree with his statement or not, he's saying that they are taking jobs away from African Americans.
Right.
And whether that's factual or not statistically, what is wrong? What is racist about that? Help me understand, Brother Lance. Like, is that racist? I'm not just seeing it.
Look, if anything he would say out of his mouth, we ain't gonna take it the right way. You see what I mean? But Biden can go on the Breakfast Club and say, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. He's gonna question your identity. He's gonna chump you and punk you like that.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
And not just that, he said a bunch of other things recently. Another thing he said was not just poor people and something, white people too. Like basically he was saying that he said, anyway, if anybody Googles it, they'll find a whole slew of racist remarks that Biden said. So what I'm saying to us is, if we are honestly analyzing both candidates, if you say that Trump is racist, you also have to say both sides are racist. So then they cancel each other out. Once they cancel each other out, you have two choices: not vote at all, just sit this one out, or vote for the least, or the person that is the most in line with what your policies are.
Right.
Economically, socially. Social politics, I know we're not going to get into that. We can wind down. But the social politics, a lot of us historically have not agreed with. Because the social, when I say social politics, I mean all the other groups that are coming in to take, to co-opt ours, and all these other agendas that are going on. I don't even need to get into those, but traditionally, historically, we were conservative socially. We were for the nuclear family.
Yes,
we
yes,
were
indeed.
for those things. And so now we're just all mixed up. We just all watered down. And we're mad when somebody is clear. I'll just say, and then I'll conclude basically what I would like to see us get, how I'm going to vote. Now, what I'm going to list, no candidate is going to give us all this, but this is my list. You know how you say, okay, I want, you know, you got a list of what you want. Well, you might only get two things off the list, but you're going to go for the one that has the most covered on your list.
That's right.
I want reparations. I know nobody's giving us that right now, but I'm saying if we don't even start with that, we never gonna get it. And we actually could get reparations in a year. I would challenge anyone to a debate. If we all came together and we could get reparations within a year. If we said, okay,
of course we could.
We're gonna stop buying Nike. We're gonna stop watching this such and such channel. We're gonna just a few things. We ain't gotta stop eating. We don't gotta. Real gangsters, they go on water fast and food fast. We don't even have to do that. We could just be like, yo, I'm not watching the NBA. The players say we're not playing, you know, for 6 games. Like collectively, we can't fire all of them. Yes, if you stand by yourself, of course you get shot. You get out. But I'm saying, if we truly collectively wanted reparations, we could get reparations, not by begging them, not by asking. So I want reparations. I want funding to combat the growing wealth gap for Black African Americans. So that's different from reparations. Reparations is what we back owed. Funding to close the wealth gap, because all the white immigrants that came here, when they first came and they were immigrants, they got funding from the government. They didn't call it welfare until we came on board, but they got funding from the government. They got subsidies. They got land plots. They got all these things for free just to get a start out. When we were busy working and slaving with sweat equity and haven't got nothing, didn't get nothing then, still ain't got nothing. Okay, so we need something to combat the growing wealth gap. We need our reparations. We need our 40 acres and a mule. That ain't even the other two things I said. That's like a, you know, when you got a MasterCard and you spend $50 and you owe that money. So they had already said we're getting our 40 acres and a mule. So we didn't get that. That's different from reparations. We didn't get the 40 acre and a mule that they promised. We need protection against racial discrimination. We need to become a protected class. Certain groups, I'm not going to even mention them. It's not even necessary. They actually have protected class status. They're not just minorities. They're in a protected class politically. You can't bully them. You can't say things. There's certain words in the lexicon of English you cannot even say. I just found out that on Facebook, there's a certain word that people say a lot. It starts with a Z. You can't even say it anymore. You can't even say the word. How about if the N word was taken out and you can't say that? Period. You can't say it. Like that, I would vote for that. I know a lot of Black people would die for that word. They would fight for that word. You're gonna fight for a word that somebody gave you, and then your logic is, well, we flipped it around and used it and empower ourselves. When has a word that was made for derogatory meaning become powerful for yourself? When? It doesn't make no sense. But that's another topic. But we need that protection against racial discrimination, just like the other classes have. Women have it. If you do something to women,
Yes.
they're in a protected class. I'm a woman, but I'm saying other groups, you quote, say the wrong thing, you lost your job, you lost everything. That should happen. We should not be lumped in with no other group. We should have something earmarked specifically for us. We should have, moving on. It's too late to get in the corporation game. So, you know, back in the day, I've heard how they break up monopolies and stuff, like just as a matter of breaking up Ma Bell and different things. They've broken up things. They need to break up some of these corporations and put it in a fund for African Americans. Corporations, institutions, organizations, including our universities, they should be just funded by the government, period. Like, I ain't talking about welfare. I'm talking about because they owe us this. So
that's right.
When I say funded, I don't mean they own it anymore. They fund it and we own it. They fund it, we own it because they owe it. And then it should have, and for political people, the two people running, the candidates, whoever's going to run against Trump, then we need to be saying which one of y'all are going to give us a bill addressing our economy, violence and crimes, all of the economic issues, housing issues, even our senior citizens. Because you know what? Most of our senior citizens, they went through Jim Crow, or they went through segregation. They went through redlining. They went through and they're still alive. They should get something. We want economic autonomy, just like the Native Americans have. We want a right to have a certain parcels of land and seeds, farmland, not the crap land that they done messed up on. Farmable land. Get that.
That's right.
And the list is not exhaustive, but my last thing on this list for the moment, well, there's three more. Federal funding for African American arts, music, media, film, and other creative pursuits. We should just have a fund for that. We need to bring back the music. When I was in school, we had music. I'm not talking about hip hop. I'm talking about music, instruments. We had that. We should bring that back. We should have anything, and arts and music and funds, whatever you want to go into, there should be a certain amount of funds. Even if it's an application process, it should be earmarked only for African Americans. Prison reform / school reform, the school to prison pipeline. Obviously need that to be reformed. If somebody murdered somebody, I agree they should be in prison, even if they are Black. I don't want to run around the hood and be not safe, but there need to be reforms within the prison system if these people are truly like not safe to be on the street. But if it's petty, like weed or whatever, then these people need to be pardoned, and they need to be given certain amount of whether it's a job or whether it's a head start, which is not really a head start because they were set back, right? If somebody sends you back to -50 and they put you at 0 or 1, that's not really a head start, but they should be able to do that. And then finally, on this list, again, it's not exhaustive. It's such a long list. And I encourage anybody hearing this to like make their own list, to just be analytical about what's for you. Culturally enriching after schools programs. Like I said, I'm in the education system. There's a bunch of programs in school, hours, and after school. 99% of them are for Latinos. I ain't mad at that. But why don't we have them for African Americans? Why? So young men, there needs to be something for young Black men. There is nothing wrong with masculinity. In fact, masculinity is a gift of God that we need, that we're losing because we're dissolving into something else that we shouldn't be dissolving into. We need to stand up as a people, fight for ourselves. And that doesn't mean physical fighting. It doesn't mean marching. It means unifying together economically. It means putting our heads together and saying, wait a minute, we're not slaves. We're not sheep. What are you going to do for us? And what have you done for us lately?
That's right.
So thank you for having this topic. You know, it would have been great if somebody else called in to chat about it, you know, to chat about it, and really like people who say I'm a staunch Democrat, or I'm staunchly that, or I hate Biden, or I hate Trump, or somewhere in between, or I'm not even going to vote at all because I don't want to vote at all. Like, is that the best strategy, to not vote at all? Like, we wouldn't need to vote if we had economic power, but we don't.
Yes, we do have someone who just came in, Raw Reality, but Raw Reality, it says your device is not connected. I see you pop in, but there's something more that you have to do on that end. Just look over the prompts. You are connected in, but I can't let you in. If you didn't sign out and sign back in again, that might do the trick.
I encourage anybody listening to sign in. If you don't want to sign in, anybody that can hear my voice, can you like say something in the chat, like which one are you or would you vote for, Biden or Trump? I hear Biden's dropping out, but just say if he was still in, whoever is his placeholder, whoever he's a placeholder for, would you vote for Biden or Trump right now, where it stands right now? If you don't want to come in and talk about it, because obviously they're here listening to your channel, Lance, because we get fed from your channel. We love your channel because you feed us. But instead of just listening, say something. Say who would you vote for right now? If the election was today, would you vote for Biden or would you vote for Trump?
Bree said she's not. She says I ain't voting for neither sucker. Real Reality, trying to come back on in.
Okay. And I respect somebody that wouldn't vote for anybody, but I would ask the same thing I would ask if you said Biden or if you said Trump. I would say, analytically speaking, is that the best thing to do? Is that a decision that you derive from real analyzation, or is that an emotional decision like F everybody? Oh, because none of them are on our side, so I ain't voting for nobody. A vote is
Jack Griffin said Trump. He put T in there.
Okay.
Jack Griffin in the house.
Jack Griffin. Okay. Anybody else? T or B?
Right.
Or are they scared?
No, they're scared because the T and B, I think it's tuberculosis abbreviated.
I would address the people.
Another Trump, the cargo hustler Trump.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Ms. D. Nice said Trump based on policy, read Agenda 47.
And that's another one. Everyone needs to read Agenda 47. Why? The reason people need Agenda 47, not because we care or don't care, but because if Trump is running on a certain policy that he endorses, don't we need to be educated to know what he's endorsing instead of listening to the news and listening to what somebody else said? Because I heard what they said about Project 25. Was it Project 25? I went and read it, and it wasn't even what they said.
Right.
And
they had celebrities. What's the girl's name again? Starts with a T. She was on the show the other day. Right. And so many Black people are so misled about so many things. I was speaking to a friend of mine about that, and she was heated. It was like, where do these celebrities get off on supporting things that, and they know what's up. They're leading the flock. They know they're influential. That's the purpose of celebrities anyway, Black celebrities. Because you think we follow politicians blindly. We do, but we really follow these celebrities for whatever reason. And just like Malcolm X said, it was an old clip that I saw where they had he was poking fun of the fact that the media had put up celebrities as being leaders in the Black community, and it's nothing different now. Florida native says Biden is a racist and vote Trump. And Diane says no reparations, no vote. And the Florida native said Malcolm hated Democrats. Ms. D-Nice says Project 2025 is being used by celebrities to promote fear. And now we have Tranchi. Welcome back on in, Tranchi. Neither, not voting local or national. Either way, I and we are suffering, my people. Agenda 25, Agenda 50 and beyond, the agenda is the same. Oh, man, I'd love to hear you come on in and say that live. I'm dropping the link. All you can do is click it.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. And we should be able to have discourse and discuss things without getting upset. I'm not saying anybody on your forum would get upset, but as a people, we do get emotional and we get upset, right? Because everybody's, look, I didn't read all of Project 2025, but after everybody was mad about it, I said, let me skim it. The main things that I see about it, I'm sure there's other stuff in there. Come on, it's 500 pages or something. The main thing that stand out is, and this is not pro, I'm not going to say whether I'm pro or con, but my point is this: we probably don't even know what it says. We're just hearing what people say. And then when we hear YouTubers interpret it, we're not using critical thinking to know what it says. Let's give an example. One of the main things they say is and I'm not endorsing 2025. I don't know enough about it even to whatever. But what I'm not going to do is say I'm against it if I haven't read it. And I'm not going to say I'm for it. I'm going to say I haven't read it. But one of the points I read, and I'm just using this as an illustration. One of them says, one of the pillars says, restoring the family. Now, you don't have to read between the lines too hard to know what that means. Restoring the family. I want to know, I don't want anybody to answer it in the chat per se, but I'm saying if somebody's listening, who is against restoring the family? I know there's a lot of people, but I'm asking you, not Lance, I'm asking you listening, are you against restoring the family? Now, what they interpret that is, and it might be true, but they're saying that means you're against the rights of people who don't want to restore the family. My question to you is, where do you stand? Not whether you're right or wrong, because if you say, I'm not interested in restoring the family, and we know what that means. That means mom, dad, male, biological female, and child, the nuclear family. So I'm not here to say whether you should be for the nuclear family or whether you just say, no, I want all gay families. I don't even want the nuclear family. I think it should be destroy the nuclear family. At least you know why you came to that conclusion. So I'm not mad at you for coming to your conclusion, but I am mad, so to speak, if you haven't even read it and you mad about what it says and you're shutting it down. Stop letting people tell you what to think about what they read. Read for yourself, and then after you read it, break it down, analyze it, comprehend it. I'm not against restoring the traditional family. Me personally, I'm not against that. I'm also not against people's sexual choices. I'm not against that either. They're mutually exclusive. But I know that at the expense, it's been at the expense of the nuclear family. Gays should have rights to do whatever they want, whatever that is, but not at the expense of mine. Example, Lance, if you want to eat, it should not be at the expense of me eating. You eat, I eat. But a lot of these so-called social rights things actually are at the expense of something else. And anybody who's not blind and they are honest, there have been a intentional destruction of masculinity and the family unit. And there's no reason for that. There is no reason for that. There's a sinister plot to break up the family.
Yes, it is.
There have always been gays since antiquity. There has always been that. Just like if we go to a restaurant, I don't like sushi, but I do go to a lot of sushi restaurants because my friends, I don't know why they like sushi, but they love sushi. They love them some raw fish. I'm not having it. Whenever I go there, I just get plain rice. That's it. Because I don't eat chicken, so I'm eating plain rice. But I'm not mad at them for having sushi, but don't be mad that I'm not getting sushi. I want rice. So the destruction of the family is wrong on any level. And I think even the staunchest gay person, if they are righteous, would say, I'm not against the nuclear family because that's how I got here. I had a mama and a daddy. That's how I got here. And so far, ain't no way to get here other than a mama and a daddy. And I'm not talking about no test tube or cloning. That ain't real. So I'm bringing that up to say the few bullet points that I read about Project 2025, not that I'm for it or against it because I ain't read enough, but I'm like, why are they angry? Let's talk about it. So then also there's a lot of other stuff mixed in there. Look, when I read, now I know you know this because I was watching your show. When George Floyd, no, not George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, we were all and still are so livid about what happened to that baby. And all our babies, I don't care if they're 50 years old, they're a baby if they got brutally murdered or whatever by a cop unnecessarily because of racism and institutionalized racism, not just individual racism, institutional racism. Because individuals don't have power if the institution doesn't back them up. Because if a racist road cop did something, that would be sad for that individual, but the law, the institution would then, put them in jail and then it would stop. So our problem is this institutional racism. But when Trayvon Martin got killed, most of your channel, they're conscious, they know this. Black Lives Matter was born. And all of us, I'm saying collectively, not every single one, okay? Mm-hmm. All of us were like, Black Lives Matter. And you couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell us nothing. Black Lives Matter. You know when I stopped going for Black Lives Matter per se? When? Is when I read the website. Somebody told me, I didn't even go to the I never even went to the website. Somebody said, do you know what you believe in? I said, what you talking about? Yeah, I know what I believe in. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Have you read the website? What do you mean? So what? Okay, let's go to the website. The brother pulled up his computer, opened his computer. I start reading. Somebody said Black lives will always matter. We're talking about an organization. We're not talking about Black lives. We're talking about an organization. So I went to the website with him. Well, he went to the website. So the first paragraph or so, it was normal. It was like, we believe that Black people should, I'm just making up stuff, but to get to the other part, we believe that Black people shouldn't get killed. And I'm like, exactly, what's wrong? What's the problem? And at some other paragraph, it said, here's basically, I'm paraphrasing, here's what we stand on. We are for dismantling the nuclear family, which is a male and a female. We are against the family. Not we're for the rights of LGBT. That's one thing. No, it says we are actually against, which if you're against, you waging war. You're waging war against the family. It said we are against, and you literally use the word dismantling of the nuclear family. We are against something something masculine. Basically, I'm gonna say what it is. They're against family. They're against male energy, masculinity. What? They're against, masculinity. And look, they got under so much pressure. I'm skipping ahead. During the pandemic time, once that person stole all that money, when they stole all the money from the innocent Black community. Yes, they stole it from the Black community because those donations were for the Black community. It's supposed to be starting from Trayvon Martin, who is a young Black man. Statistically, we know way more Black men get killed by police than Black women. Of course, Sandra Bland, we know that Black women get killed too. But with the thing with the male on the male, the white male police, when this is the issue, is more Black males. And we as a community, being manipulated by our emotions, we're told that we're starting this organization to stop Black men from getting killed, when actually the organization was against Black men. And it also said, I'm paraphrasing, Black men couldn't even be in leadership. And I know this for a fact because I went to a meeting and there was a Black man in the meeting and they said, we welcome you in the organization, but you cannot be in the top leadership. And it also said, we are here to push the LGBT agenda and all this other stuff. I said, wait a minute. If I want to join an LGBT group, I want to know what I'm joining. I ain't against you. But if I go to a restaurant and I order fish and you come and bring me steak, I don't want that. That's not what I ordered. And don't tell me that I'm racist or hatred against steak. That's just not what I ordered. So when I signed up for Black Lives Matter organization, when I went out to march, I'm marching because I'm believing it's for Black men and the women too, who are getting killed because they're Black. But that wasn't really what it was for. So I'm like, wait a minute, this is a mind F. And your website right here boldly says you're against the nuclear family. That means you're against my mama and my daddy, and your mama and daddy, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I'm saying that to say, this ain't a show about that, but this is how we get duped. So we don't read and we don't research. I'm guilty too. I'm guilty too. I didn't know until the brother pulled up his computer. My mouth was open. My mouth was open like buckwheat. If anybody on your show is younger than 40, then they don't know who buckwheat is. But my mouth was open like buckwheat. I was
like buckwheat. We got Raw Reality. We got Raw Reality that just popped in. He was trying to get him before, but I see the line is good.
Okay, great.
Raw Reality. Yeah, but we all still gonna chop it up. Raw Reality, come on in and talk. Your line is open. Raw Reality.
Hello.
Your line is open. Everything's clear. It doesn't seem like you're on mute or anything. Just look at your phone, turn the volume up, whatever it may be. Raw Reality. You're in on the show. Everybody's on the edge of their seat. The drum roll is going. We know you got something powerful to say. Okay.
So why don't Raw Reality just interrupt when Raw Reality just start talking, and we'll be quiet like when you start talking, right. Raw Reality.
Okay, he will do that. But you're teaching tonight, Queen Nefertiti.
Huh?
You're teaching tonight. You're on the flow. Don't hold back.
Look, I'm teaching myself. My point is this. Even something like Black Lives Matter that we all went out for and loved and marched for during COVID. We all went out with George Floyd. We all did all that. And I'm saying that we didn't even know what the website said. We didn't even know it wasn't even for Black men. It was a fraud. And we have to understand. And again, I'm not for or against whatever Black Lives Matter was for. That's not my point. But don't tell me it's for A, but it's really for B. And then the money that's donated by people who say, let me donate so young Black men can stop getting killed by the police. We didn't even know. So Project 2025, anybody who's against it, have you read it? Anybody who's against it, who listened to the YouTubers who came out against it and broke it down, because I heard a few channels that broke it down, they didn't really break it down. They said That's things true. Like they want to take away our civil rights. But what they're really saying is they want to take away, they want to give back the restoration of family, and maybe they're not for the LGBT or whatever. If that's what it is, say it. Say it so we know. Be transparent. and they use our, yes, of course, she says that BLM was a psyop. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, because they said it was A, but it was really B. Let's understand. Let's not get caught up into bad or good. I think there are things that I think are bad or good, but if we get caught into that, then we're not going to unify. Because Lance, you probably do like beef and I like fish. And then if we fight over that, then we're never going to get anywhere, right? So let's not discuss specifics of what you like or don't like. The question is, do you know what you're really ordering? Not if it's good or bad, but do you know? Don't think you're ordering fish and you're getting something else. And that's what's happening to us, because half of the reason is because they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes, and the other half is we're pulling it down further over our eyes. So we can't control what they do, but we can try to protect ourselves. You can't stop a burglar from trying to get in your house, but you damn sure can put locks and alarms on your door. You can put a gate around your house. You can put a wall around your house. I hope you're putting a wall around your house out there in Africa, brother.
Already did.
You already did.
Yep. Already
look,
did.
In Africa, you got to protect yourself. You got to put up the wall.
That's right.
So when it comes to Project 25, when it comes to what somebody mentioned, Trump's Project 2047, or no, Project 47, and all these projects and agendas and all this stuff, we need to understand what it really means behind the words. If it says civil rights for who? For
there
who?
You go.
I want it to say reparations for African Americans. I want it to say something for me. Say my name. You remember when they said Sandra Bland say her name? Say my name, baby. I'm ADOS. I'm African American. Say my name. Don't say civil rights, because that could be a whole slew of things. Civil rights is so broad, it don't even include us. So don't tell me that Project 2025 is bad or good because they're against civil rights. Really? Break that down. But you know what? Not one of those YouTubers broke it down that I saw, because they know if they broke it down. So they'll just say, to get viewers riled up who are not going to do the research, they'll just say, it's against civil rights. So of course, who wouldn't say, yeah, we should be, if it ain't for civil rights, let's vote it down. No. Stop. Can you be specific about how it's against civil rights? Did it say that Black people shouldn't vote? I heard people say about Trump, even when I was a Democrat, I'm hearing the rhetoric. They're saying Trump if Trump gets in office, this was when he first, and I was buying the rhetoric. If Trump gets in office, he's going to send us back to slavery. He's going to put us back in chains. He's going to do all that. But you know what I noticed he did do? And quietly, I didn't admit that, he pardoned a whole bunch of Black people when he got out of office. Why did he do that? He was getting out of office. Why? And this is not an endorsement. We should be asking ourselves this question. Who else pardoned Black people? Did anybody else? Did everybody pardon Black people? Did nobody pardon? Did Obama pardon Black people? These are the questions we need to be asking. What is Project 2025? When they say it's against X, Y, and Z in these big, broad terms, what is it? Just because a celebrity said it? Did that celebrity even look at it? I don't know, maybe not. So what I challenge us to do is, if we hear somebody saying they're for or against and trying to influence us, we ask to the lowest common denominator. In math, you got to go to the lowest common denominator when you're doing division, the lowest common denominator. You have to. So we have to analyze things from that way. We can't just continue to just let them pull the wool over our eyes, and also we just close our eyes as tight as we can. We can't just continue to do that. And in fact, why don't we have our own project something? How about that? We need to look, Lance, Can you vote with me? I want Project 1619. That's what I want.
There you go.
I think that was the year that slavery started.
Yeah.
So let's have a Project 1619.
I like that.
And we created that, and we give it to the politicians, both sides, and say, look, here go Project 1619. It means that you need to dismantle. Speaking of dismantling, dismantle all the negative, horrible things you did to us. Dismantle that, undo it, and make reparations for it. Repair it. How about that? Can we vote for that? How about that be up on the stage on the BET Awards and announce, all right, everybody, we got Project 1619. And what it says is we want our civil rights restored as African Americans. We want to be a protected class group. We want economy. We want land. We want our 40 acres and a mule. We want our senior citizens taken care of. Though anybody that's alive who went through segregation should get a fat $1 million check right now just because you alive still. How about these things? And even if they laugh at us and tear it up, then at least we know where they stand. And don't you dare sit up there and fight another black person because they didn't vote for the other wolf who happens to be in sheep's clothing.
Excellent.
Raw? Is Raw reality here?
He popped out. Try it again, but everything was good from my side.
Raw reality.
No, I know you did.
I said I was done a long time ago, and then he said he was popping in. So
look at what Miss D. Nice said. They don't want critical race theory taught in schools.
Let's talk about
we know that. What I'm saying, when I say we know that, I wasn't being funny, Mr. Nance. I'm just saying we know how they roll, you know?
Hold on. Now, I'm not speaking from knowledge. Again, my whole point, I do have some knowledge on certain things, but that's not the point here. The point is, I'm not talking about the actual thing. I'm talking about how to come upon it, information. So all Black people were mad about critical race theory. And I said to myself, before I get mad, I want to know exactly what it is. And let me say this: who brought up critical race theory?
Miss D. Nice.
Okay, Miss D. Nice. Did you know? I'm not saying this as a fact. Somebody told me this because I was too busy to even look it up. But because I don't have any small children anymore, so I wasn't looking it up. But I did hear this, and if I was gonna, before I state I'm for it or against it, I'm gonna research if this is true. I heard that critical race theory also included the alphabet agenda and other broader civil rights. I would want to know if that's true or false before I decide I like it or I don't like it. Because let me tell you what else the PSYOPs do. Just like the word, the organizational word Black Lives Matter.
Keep it going. Let me just check, sister, really quick. Raw Reality popped in. I want you to finish that point. I just want to see if his sound came through. Raw Reality, your line is open.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Don't lose that point, Queen Nefertiti. Oh, no. Go with that point.
Finish this sentence and then
and Raw Reality, then you jump in. Okay.
What I want to say is be careful of titles because they know we're emotional. So if it says Black Lives Matter, we don't read the website. Read the website. If it says critical race theory and we're against it, we just jump up in arms. I bet you 99% of us did not even read the policies. If it did have other people's civil rights, alphabet, whatever, then that is something we have to stop and say, is this something we want or don't want? What was critical race theory? Was it ever broken down? Did it say you can't learn about, I know what they told us it said, But I also know what the Black Lives Matter said that it said, but when I went to the website, it didn't say that. So even if the title sounds like it is, this is my conclusion on this statement. If you go to the store and you see a book and it says how to fish, you open it up, that might be a book about sex. No pun intended. I'm just saying, just because the title says something, you have to look further into it. Remember when we were kids and whoever is a kid, I think nowadays sex songs, they just say it right out. They say, you know, wet, hot, I want to eat your this and I want to suck this and all that. They do that now. But when I was a kid 20 years ago, when I was a kid, don't be laughing. When I was a kid, when they were talking about sex or vagina or this or that, or even weed, Mary Jane, I thought Mary Jane was a girl. So I did not know Mary Jane was weed or whatever. And then there's other things. And there was a song, and I promise that I'm gonna stop. There's a song called Never Learn to Swim. Never learn that song. Who sang that? Never Learn to Swim, Aqua Boogie. That song about not learning to swim. So all I'm saying, I'm concluding to say, I think we're all for the same thing. The problem is, if we're not analytical, if we don't really know what it is, the substance of it, and break it down, then we can be misled too easily.
Exactly. Brilliant. Brilliant, Queen Nefertiti. You ain't going nowhere now. We just gonna allow reality to floor. But
give it to us
yeah.
raw. Give it to us raw and real.
Oh baby, I like it raw.
And real.
And real.
All right, yes.
Come on, reality.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Yes. First of all, Brother Lance, just want to thank you for just for this platform that you created. Been following you for several years.
Can you come a little closer or no?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello,
are you on a speakerphone, brother, or Bluetooth?
No, I got a headphone on.
I mean, I can hear, but it's just not very present.
Yeah, if you could take the headphone off and go directly into the phone, that would be 100% better. We want to hear everything you have to say.
I'm doing it through computer. So hold on just a minute. Let me see.
I don't want to mess him up, so that's okay. We did this.
That's okay. That's okay.
Hello.
Yeah, don't mess anything up. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear? Okay. All right. Yeah. As I was saying, yeah, Brother Lance, I've been following you for several years now, and seeing you through.
Wow. Thank you.
Through the ups and downs. And like I said,
yes, you know it.
Yeah.
We're here.
Thank you. Thanks for this platform. Now, in regards,
thank you, brother.
In regards to this topic, the question I asked earlier is basically why are we wasting our time talking about voting for these two racist white man folk. What we need to understand is that, first of all, these presidents, all these politicians, they don't work for the people. Okay, they don't work for the people. They never have worked for the people. Okay, they work for the people who I call the real white supremacists, which is the billionaire rich white people. They're the ones who run the country from behind the scenes. Okay, and all these presidents and politicians is that they're nothing but they're the ones that implement the policies that these rich billionaires come up with. So for us running around here talking about who we should vote for, should we vote for Biden, should we vote for Trump? It doesn't matter which one of them get in there. Okay, it doesn't really matter which one of them gonna get in there, because it's the thing is still going to be the same. And the thing about it is that they want people to think that there's two parties, when in fact it's only one party. It's only one party. They keep people in this illusion or matrix, or matrix. They want you to think that you have a choice, when in fact you don't really have a choice. All you just have is a selection. And the proof of it is this: is that during the debates, who they always have in the debates, it's always just the Democrat and Republicans. They don't have people from any other party in those debates. You have the Green Party. The Green Party, they have a candidate that runs. The Libertarian Party, they have a candidate that runs, and there's some other parties that have a candidate that runs. If we really had a choice in this country, they would have all the candidates from those different parties at those debates, so that way people could have a fair and honest choice. So they're not giving anybody a fair and honest choice, because they're limiting it down to two parties, and to two parties, which is actually just one party. And so that's why I say what we keep we talking about voting for two racist white men for. And another thing we also have to look at too is, I understand what you were talking about in terms of you're looking at like the domestic policy, but what you also have to look at is you have to look at the foreign policy that they push. And it's the same policy that they have been pushing basically since the inception of this country, which is a white supremacist imperialist policy. And which is what every president, including Obama, pushed when he was in that White House. We gotta look at what they all have done. They all have done. You had Bush, who invaded Afghanistan and then turned around and invaded Iraq. And one of the reasons they went into Iraq was really to get control of Iraq's oil. And then you had Obama, who went and bombed Libya along with Britain and France. And the reason they went after Libya is because of what Gaddafi was trying to do when he announced about Africa trying to have a single currency called a single currency that was going to be backed by the mineral wealth in the ground. And then we got with Trump. We had them after Obama came Trump, and look at what he did in terms of his foreign policy. People say that, well, Trump didn't invade no country. No, he didn't. But he did try to take over a country. If I don't know if any of y'all remember, but back in when it was either 2018 or 2019, he took a man that didn't run for no election, and he said that you're the legitimate ruler of this country. And I'm talking about that guy Juan Guaido, who nobody knew, and he just said he's the ruler of Venezuela. I mean, the man didn't run for no country. He didn't run for office or anything. And all of a sudden now you just gonna say that this man is now running the country, over the fact that they elected that Venezuela they do have a leader. And then in addition to that, in addition to that, Trump he bragged at some meeting how the U.S. controls Syria's oil. Control Syria's oil. Okay, he bragged about it, and he also put tariffs on China, and he's talking, and he's also and there's talk that if he gets back in, he's gonna put full tariffs on China, which is really gonna help cripple this country even more, because most of the majority of the stuff that this country gets from that's imported into this country comes from China. And
can I interject, reality? Can I interject? Well, let you finish, but I just want you to know I want to interject also.
Yes, go ahead.
So what I wanted to interject was to say, like, everything you said, either I agree with or I don't know about it, so I'll take your word for it, right? So my interjection is not against anything you're saying or in disagreement with anything you're saying. It's more like to come to a point to say, okay, if we all agree, not all of us, but at least on this call, that we already discussed the wolf in sheep's clothing, right? So we could talk about what specific, Trump did X, Y, and Z, Biden did ABC, like, of things we don't like, things that are racist. We would be on here for about 50 days, just going through their list of bad things. So if we agree at that point to say, okay, there's both wolves. One has a sheep's clothing, but they're both wolves. If we just, and I'm not making that statement per se, even though I am, but that's not even the point. It's theoretical. If we're dealing with two wolves and we agree, then I think the real conversation is not what kills they did yesterday, what Wolf the Kill did yesterday, or this or that. I think the conversation that I would ask you, I have two questions, if you don't mind kind of moving on from that premise to say, okay, aside from their specific crimes, if you said don't vote, and like it's better not to vote, because why would you vote for two, if both are wolves, what's the point of voting? I have one question to ask you, because I disagree with that, but always open for learning. So I would ask you, if you don't vote for two wolves, we don't need to go back to that, but they're two wolves, and the option is vote for either of the wolves or no vote, and you say don't vote, does that help us? Versus what I'm saying is submit to them our own agenda, whatever, to put them on the line and say, hey, wolf number one, we want X, Y, and Z. Hey, wolf number two, we want X, Y, and Z. Now, which one of y'all going to give it to us? Not even that they're going to give it to us, but they're going to have to publicly ignore it or speak on it. They're going to have to address it. They're going to have to look at us. So is that not at least a better attempt or a better strategy than just saying, well, we just won't vote for either because they're both wolves, so don't vote at all. Like, that's my first question to you. And my second question is, do you believe that Trump is for or against America as a country? So those are my two questions.
Well, first of all, in regards to your first question, in terms of presenting something to either of them, the way I look at it is like this. With either which way you're dealing with a devil, either which way. So it doesn't matter what you present to this person, what you present to that person. You're dealing with a devil, and the devil's gonna always work something out that's gonna favor him it's gonna favor him in the end. He'll string you along long enough to make you think that I'll look at this, I'll look at that. But what eventually he's gonna do is that he's gonna walk it in some way that in some way where in which he's going to eventually reap the whole entire benefit. Let's go back into history. Look at the treaties that they made with the Indians. Look at all the treaties that they made with the Indians and the Native Americans.
I don't disagree with you. My question is, if we feel that way, if we feel like, well, they're probably not going to do it anyway, based on history, based on all that. So I'm just asking you about strategy here, your own strategy. Like, so because we think and probably know that they're not, they're going to trick it, they're going to do something, should we not just, strategically speaking, should we not just even still present something, like unified to present something? Or I'm kind of trying to get to your strategic question, to say, because we already agree on the past history that they lied, whatever, and probably going forward they probably won't. But I'm speaking more on how we should react to that. Just step back and don't do anything, or do we at least do it, not because we think they're gonna do it, but because that's the beginning of getting some kind of something. So I'm questioning you because you sound very intelligent. I could tell you're smart, intelligent, you're a thinker. So that's why I'm asking you that question.
Raw reality.
Did I piss him off?
Hello?
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, yeah, go ahead, brother. We can hear you.
Yeah. What I was saying is that, to me, and this is just me, I personally think it's just a waste. It's just a waste of time trying to even trying to present something to them. What we should be focused on is really just developing ourselves. Okay, that's personally what I think we should be doing. We should be focusing on developing ourselves and trying to pull away from the system as much as possible. Because in reality, when people are voting, they're not voting for a candidate. What they're actually voting for is they're actually voting for a system, for continuance of a system that's constantly oppressing them. And the only way to really kind of defeat that system is to pull out of it and basically just pull out of that system and do your own thing, and focus on developing yourself.
Is there a space for us to do both?
If there's a space for us to do both,
yes.
You could say yes. You could write something together and present it to them, and also try and do your own thing as well. But as I was saying, that's kind of like that to me is kind of like a waste of time, because you already know who you're dealing with here. And brother Lance, can I use you as an example? Are you there? Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, brother Lance. With your permission, can I use it as an example?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, in terms of what brother Lance did, like I said, I've been following you for the past several years, and
thank you, brother.
You were over here in the States, and You talked about all the dealings that you had to deal with over here, and dealing with this, with people, and dealing with this system. And then
Yes.
eventually what you did, you made that move. You moved back to the motherland. And basically what you did when you got over there is that you basically you moved outside of the city, because because you saw you saw you didn't from what I saw, you didn't
Hmm.
want to be part of that. You didn't want to be part of the mess that's going on anymore. Okay,
Right. Right.
you didn't want to be part of that mess. You wanted to get away from it and get peace, and get your own peace and tranquility, which which from what I'm seeing, you're getting that peace and tranquility. Now,
Yes, indeed.
in terms of in terms of what I'm saying, in terms of the separation, that's basically what we as a people need to do. Is we need to start focusing on ourselves, and developing ourselves, and that would require us to try to pull away from this thing, because they try to keep you trapped in this thing through the politics, through the fi-
Yes.
through the finances, through the finances, through the entertainment, through the celebrity gossip, all of that stuff. They try to keep you trapped into this matrix as much as they can. So, and the only way to be really out to really to really to really destroy this matrix is to just basically just pull out of it, and say we're not gonna participate in this system anymore. Okay, we're not gonna really participate in this system anymore. We're gonna go off.
Yep.
We're gonna do our own thing, and build our own our own self. Okay. Now, in regards to your second question as to whether Trump is for America or not, but what question you should be asking is, which America are we talking? Which America are we talking about? Are we talking about an America that's for everybody, or an America that's just for a certain group, a certain group of people? Because and I heard this question on a show yesterday. People, when they say make America great again, when was America great? Okay, and which part of the greatness was are they referring to when they keep saying that, and when they keep saying that? Because to them, America was great when when white people was in charge of the wall, and was in charge of was in charge of the wall, and they were going around doing whatever. That's in their mind is when America was great again. Okay, that's what so that's what they're referring to when they
Okay.
say that.
But either answer, either whichever one. Do you think Trump? And I would like to ask the same question about Biden too. Either answer, whether which America, like America A, America B, any of the Americas. Do you think Trump? And I only said him because he has that phrase MAGA, but I want to do extended to say Biden too. Or do you think either of them are for America? And when I say for America, I mean for America versus for for the benefit of America and Americans versus other places, in relation to the world, like pro America versus pro international as candidates. Like, do you think, I'm not asking you whether it's good or bad, I'm just asking an assessment, like the way I'd say, do you think this is the color blue or green? Like, I'm asking do you think Trump or either candidate is for America?
They're not for America. They're for the rich. That's who they represent, because who's backing them.
Okay.
It was just hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just saw not what I saw, but heard that it's being said that Elon Musk, he's going to be contributing to Trump's camp. He's going to be contributing to Trump's campaign, and they say that he's going to be contributing to Trump's campaign, making a contribution to Trump's campaign each month. He isn't doing that because he out of the goodness of his heart. He's doing it because he's looking some favors from him. All of those billionaires who contribute to these people's campaigns, whether they be Democrat or Republican, they're looking to get something. They're looking to get something back from them.
Of course.
They're looking to get something back from them, because he who pays the piper plays the tune, as the old saying goes.
Then you just proved the point of what you opposite said. You just proved that lobbying works. You see, Elon Musk is one person, but collectively we are a group. And this is what I would ask you to think about, because I've been on different sides of the fence. But now the reason I feel with the first topic is that it's better to actually engage while we're doing everything you said we should be doing. I don't think we should just be doing that. We need to be primarily doing what you said, doing our own thing, planning, just all that. But I think if we also would be very beneficial to engage for a number of reasons that benefit us, forget if they're going to do it or not. Number one, there is, and this is a historical fact, if we look at the history, there is power in unity. The civil rights movement got a lot of progress because of what they did, and not because it was given. Power is never given, it's taken. And there is power in unity, as you're saying. There is power in coming together. There is power in saying, we're not buying this unless we're not buying Louis Vuitton unless you know, blah, blah, blah. We're not, there is power in that. So if we disengage completely, we're not using potential power source that we have. So I agree with you 100% on one side of it, but I ask you to look at the other side, or anybody that feels like you, to say, there is some missed opportunities in coming together, because it's a proven fact that even when the power that be don't want to do something, just like a company doesn't want to give you a pay raise, they want to keep paying you below wage. But if all you guys strike, not even all, if 70% strike, enough strike to hit the pocketbook, you're going to get a raise. Not because they wanted to, but because you came together. But if you just say, well, they don't care about us, they're not going to give us a raise, they don't care about the employees. What I'm saying is we have more power than we think, even though they don't want to give us, they don't want to help us, and everything you said is factual and true. But the perspective that I'm looking at it is using our power. And I believe what I said earlier to Lance, I don't know if you heard it, we could get reparations this year. If we suddenly got on code, we could get reparations this year.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm telling the brother. So I'm saying,
yeah,
they don't want to give us reparations, but I think I just want the brother, as smart as he is and as conscious as he is, to not be disillusioned to the point by their being wolves that we don't have power on the other side of that coin. We can still beat the wolf. And by unifying and by the strategies that he said. And then just to conclude on the second point, the reason I asked you, brother, that question, and then I'll give back the floor back to you. The reason I asked you the question about, do you think he would make America great again? Or is he for America? Is because America today, I don't know how long you've been here. America today is very different than it was even 20 years ago, and it's worse.
Yeah.
And in spite of slavery, in spite of segregation, because that's our history, meaning the white people didn't endure what we endured. We endured that. But in spite of what we endured, which is, of course, our thing to deal with right now and why we're trying to get power, there was still a reason that everybody wants to flood and flock to America for the economy of it. The racial situation is a separate thing that deals with us specifically, but the economy, the educational opportunities, to be able to buy land, to be able to be born a nobody, a poverty-stricken person, and to be able to become a millionaire as individuals. What they did collectively to Black people is bad. We know that. It's not even a question. But we also can't say that America wasn't the best country on earth in terms of economical opportunity for individuals. And that's why everybody's coming here. And if we lose the reason that everybody's coming here, then what is it? And I will conclude with, Brother Lance, all due respect to you going to Ghana, I wish I could do it, but it's not heaven over there. And our governments within Africa are ruled by the West, by extension, by a long-handled spoon anyway.
Yep.
So
Yes,
there's no escaping Western power. It's only a matter of how we get back our own autonomy and build our economic empowerment within this structure. That's why I asked if I'd rather vote for a president. I'm not talking about Trump or Biden now. I'd rather vote for somebody who wants to bring America to a place of healthy economical place than a person that just wants to flood it with all kind of things that morally, ethically, economically just completely sink the boat from the reason that everybody was coming here in the first place. So I just wanted that to be a conversation too.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Hello. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Now, in regards to what you're saying, in regards to the unity, I hear what you're saying about that. But the one thing that we suffer from, Black people suffer from today, is what I call the Willie Lynch virus. It's, and as you know, you familiar with the Willie Lynch letter.
Yes.
We are more divided today as a people than we ever have been, and that's just me saying from what I've observed. Part of the reason is we really can't really come together is because we focus too much on our differences than on the fact that we're being oppressed. We're being oppressed. So let's just forget what we're doing and just deal with this oppressor. Okay. So that's one of the things that's really hindering us from coming together is basically our differences that we have. Also, we got the jealousy, we got the envy. I mean, you think that this person is with you, and then come to find out later on down the road, then they will secretly sabotaging you from
Yes.
behind,
Yes.
try and stop your efforts.
Mhm.
That's the thing that's really hindering us from really coming together and really trying to achieve something that could just help us as a whole. Okay. Now, in regards to the other thing that you were saying about people coming to America, one thing that we have to understand is those other races and ethnic groups that come to America, whether they be Chinese, Japanese, Indians, or people from the Middle East, they have their differences too. But one thing that they do when they come here is that they come here and they work collectively within their race or ethnic group to build and achieve what they need. Okay, I mean I mean let me slow down, catch my breath here. Yeah, they come.
Yeah, take your time, bro. Take your time.
They come and they work together. They work together to build what they need, and they move and they work in certain sectors as well. Okay, now why can't we as black people do that as well? Part reason I go back to is due to the division that we have amongst us in terms of the jealousy, the backbiting, envy and all that, that stuff. And the other thing too is that they don't want us to come to, they meaning the real white supremacists, they don't want us coming together to really have like any kind of collective economic power, because they've seen they saw what we can do with our collective economic power. In terms, they saw what we did in Rosewood. They saw what we did in terms of Black Wall Street. They saw that, and what they are afraid of is if we come together collectively, combine our economic power, and raise our economic power, we would dominate them, and they would have to answer to us, which is something that they don't want to do. They do not want to answer have to answer to us, which is why they're keeping, because they saw what our power did during the civil rights movement, when black people came out, and black people came out. And there's another story behind that civil rights movement as to why that came up, but that go into that story for another day. But they saw
that we should do it today. That's, you just are saying that, you actually are saying that, like, that the power that you're saying we have coming together, we can put our own, like, we can do that. We can become lobbyists in that sense. And that's what I'm trying to get us to collectively not say either or, but both. But when we do both, because I agree with you, all this voting we've been doing ain't done a damn thing. But Raw, I would say the reason it hasn't done a damn thing is because we haven't done it with the strategy that you're talking about. But if we use your strategy to unify and the same strategy to lobby and say, we're not buying this, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do XYZ unless this. And the LGBT community brilliantly, not just them, but I'm just going to use them, they brilliantly said, this is the rights we want. At first, they lost. I don't know if you remember, or even if Lance remembers. Before Obama was in office, he said he's against gay marriage. Does anybody remember that?
I remember that. Yes, I do.
And he meant it. He wasn't just saying that. He was against it because generally society was against it. He was in the church. He's the one that ushered it in. That is the power of lobbying. And so they knew, and some of my gay friends told me this, said to me, we already know that when we first bring it up, say some bill or something, we're going to lose. We factor that into the strategy because people have to become used to. First, they're going to be shocked. Huh? Then it's going to be like, no way. Then it's going to be like, no. Oh, nah. Well, maybe. Okay, yes. We support it. Like, it keeps happening like that. And if, in other words, if we just take the same playbook, if you look at an athlete that you want to be like and you keep losing, we have to take the strategies. And that's one group, but there's other groups too. The women's group, when Me Too happened, not even back in the day, but it happened back in the day with the suffrage movement. Women couldn't vote. We're not talking about black people right now. We just talking about white women. They couldn't vote. They got together with the suffrage movement. It was like, forget that. We ain't giving our husbands no sex. we gonna do what we need to do. We gonna get the vote. And they got the vote. And that was between two white groups, the male and the female. But I'm saying, and then there's other groups too. And we know certain groups we can't even name because they are lobbyists. So I'm just saying, I agree with you that we have all this power, but it's definitely misused when we just throw a vote, and definitely when it's a blind vote, and definitely when we're allegiance to a party. We need to go by policy. We need to have unity, and we need to have one strategy collectively. We don't have to all agree on everything. We just have to agree on the strategy that's going to benefit us collectively. Every black person, whether they're Republican or Democrat or neither, want better economic system. They want better freedom. They want better education. Like, these are just across the board. They want them. So we got to focus on that. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I'll stay here to let you close it out. But I just wanted to have us and you thinking about, can we do both? And even though a better America might not include us in their plans, but if America is better, economically speaking, we also benefit if we're here.
Okay. Yes, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. But we also have to realize is that we really can't be relying on a government to help us, because this government is not our friend. We have to basically kind of rely on each other, like how we relied on each other during segregation, because it was during segregation time. That's when black people had their own, because the laws at that time forced us to have our own. So, and what I'm basically saying is that we kind of go back to that concept of relying on each other, and working together amongst ourselves, because we have nobody. We really don't have anybody else to really depend on, because at the end of the day, it's just going to be, I mean, if this economy crashes tomorrow, and it's low, and it's and it is crashing, and no matter who gets it in there, it's not gonna get better, because this crash is by design. It's by design. Who's gonna come to our aid? Nobody's gonna come to our aid. We have our own self that we have to rely on. So basically that's what I'm saying is that is not we shouldn't be wasting our time worrying about worrying about who's in power, who's not in power, because at the end of the day, are those people in power going to come to mow your lawn? Are they going to come to wash it? Are they going to come to wash your dishes or cook your food? No, they're not going to do. They're not going to do any of that. You have to do that. So basically, we should focus on ourselves, and basically try to develop ourselves, and rely more on ourselves, and having to rely on some politician or some system that we didn't create to come and support us.
Well, I say amen. I say amen to that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Beautifully spoken.
And I just want to say I appreciate you so much, Raw Reality. You came raw and you came real. You did.
There you go.
So look, Lance, you know, they say good cop, bad cop. He came as the bad cop, like in a good way. I mean, like he's like, look, I'm not being nice. I'm not taking no punches. I'm not even gonna call him a wolf. I'm gonna say something else. So he is the real deal. I appreciate his feedback and everything. And we're just trying to work together on strategy, you know, of how to not to be anti anybody else, but to be pro our own survival and empowerment going forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, the energy tonight. I love it.
Brother Lance, now you over in Ghana. What time is it?
It's 2:17 a.m.
Did you fall asleep on me in Raw Reality? Tell the truth.
Oh no, I'm right here. All I did was mute myself just in case, you know, any noise over here.
I'm just teasing.
Oh, I know. No, I can't miss this star-studded lineup tonight. I can't miss this.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm so glad Raw Reality came in. And I like to see other Black men. There's a lot of times we women step in, but I love to see the Black men coming in. You know, he's a soldier, so I like that. I love that.
We'll do this on a regular basis and pick certain angles on the political level and build it up. And then somebody hears this and says, "Oh man, I can't wait till the next one comes on," and we'll do it. And I know, you know, we all have busy schedules, and mine is not so busy, but there's a lot on demand here with the work that's being done. But I'm always here to accommodate and can accommodate every single day. It depends on the time. Anybody reach out to me, all of the contact information is below in the description area. I'm always open for it. There have been times a person has called me and said, "Hey, you know, when were you free to do a particular show?" And I'm like, "Well, what are you doing now? Let's do it now." Boom, we create a classic. That's the way the energies go. You know, the weatherman will always try to predict the rainstorm, but the best rainstorms and the most romantic happen just spontaneously. Spontaneous combustion of truth.
Yeah, thanks, Brother Lance, and thanks, Queen Nefertiti. Glad that I was able to get in on this chat and on this chat here, and just come in and just give my commentary as well. Brother,
you're always welcome.
Yeah, brother.
Yes.
Could I send you a link to something? Could I just send you a link to something in your email? Okay, yeah. I'll get that out. I'll get that out to you here after the show.
Most definitely. And for other people, the email is lance@lancescurv.com. You can't go wrong with that. Lance@lancescurv.com. And I always put a link to the blog on this particular show that we did, because social media platforms can sometimes take down comments if they don't agree with it. So you can put the comment on the blog. It will always be there. It's the appropriate, it's up in the top of the chat room. here in YouTube, because we're on different platforms tonight, several different ones, and this will be cut up and spread out and all of that good stuff. But try to put your comments on Lancescurv.com, and I will answer you directly there. Whatever you say, on the blog. We want to build it up over there.
All right.
The night before Christmas. I was gonna say.
No, I'll just look. I mean, look. I like to give men the last word, so that's why I didn't say nothing.
Well, it's okay. Hey, if you got something you want to say before we ease out, you can do it. There's no specific way of doing things, but it's just that was so good. That little bit of silence, you know what that was like? When you go to that all-you-can-eat joint with a bunch of your friends and everybody ate, and for a split second we're not talking, we're just digesting, just digesting the food. I'm getting tired. I'm slurring my words like an old boxer, and it's just like, wow. What was that? That was so good. So that's what it's all about. Yeah. And to bring back that
everybody exhales at once.
Yeah, to bring back that old 1970s feel of Black News and the McCreary Report and Like It Is, Tony Brown's Journal. That's the time and cloth I'm cut from. Even though I'm born in 63, but all those late 60s and 70s shows when we could be ourselves and there was no agenda. They could report the way it was. Sepia Magazine, Jet Magazine, Ebony Magazine, the original style, not the corporate style, but the original style where they would tell it like it is. Muhammad Speaks newspaper, eventually The Final Call, all the Black newspapers that are there, that are not there, that were there, that are not there anymore. Where are they? The people are still here. The thoughts are still here. So when we come and we talk, this is the style in which we talk in, to bring that back, because we don't have it anymore. And we can't depend on people who look like the two on the banner to bring that back for us. They don't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? Those conversations that we had on the front steps late at night, holding groceries at the corner, thinking we're just going to talk with somebody for 5 minutes, and 3 hours later we're there. The only reason why we stopped is because we had to go home and pee. You know what I mean? So that good old community feel. Girl, come on in and use the bathroom here. We got to keep this talk going. What happened to that? Just because the people passed on when I was younger, I absorbed their essence. I remember how it felt, and as long as I'm alive, it's going to be here. We're using technology now, but it's the same good old feel. And you know what? Ain't nobody asking for nothing to say, hey, you got to do this for me. You got to do that. Sure, like, share, subscribe. Whoever wants to donate, donate. If not, this is going to go on anyway. The conversations are going to go on anyway. So let me know what you want to talk about. Just like Brother Landon said, hey, let's talk about this Microsoft shutdown. If the weather permits, I'll go outside in the garden, in the backyard a little bit, maybe go to the, in the middle of the city. I don't know. We'll talk about it. And I'm going to let things hang out.
Okay.
That's what it's all about.
Okay. All right, Brother
Jack Griffin, yes, Gil Noble, Like It Is. You remember? Those good old Muhammad Ali interviews back in the day. That's right. I don't know what you're talking about. The man sitting there wearing a dress. There's something not right with that. And I would not fight nobody in the middle of the ring with that. Hugging up on me, clinching. That's going to be a quick fight. You think Sonny Liston was quick. By the time they come out, lipstick and a boom, and they're going to get mad and said I knocked him out because I didn't like him. You mean I love that? How would they treat Muhammad Ali in 2024? Would he bend and say, we're wrong? Don't use that word for me to talk about that. Bend? I will never bend. Anyway.
Well,
yes.
Ali is not here, but Tyson is. So I don't believe that. Can you do Tyson though?
Well, basically, I can always, laugh. He comes with these voices, and I don't know where he gets it from. I was in Brooklyn, and I was born in '66, and he's in Queens. He was born in Manhattan, but I know I crossed paths with him. But I have a different thought on that. Muhammad didn't like that stuff, but I have a sister who, is trans and stuff like that. So I want to keep my foot out of it. You know what I mean? All I know is that's not for me. You know what I mean? You all know what I like. I'm cool now, but I'm laid back. I don't want to be the monster I used to be.
I didn't know that you had celebrities on the show tonight. Wow.
When you're looking at one in the mirror and raw reality.
Yeah.
I'm just plain old Lancescurv.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that likes to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Brother Lance, you do a good imitation of Muhammad Ali. You do a good imitation of Muhammad Ali, and also of Mike Tyson as well.
Raw reality, was that the first time you heard him do that?
No, it's not the first time. He's
okay, so you do that a lot, Lance?
Oh, I'm working on some other ones. I'm gonna have about 25 in another 3 months. I'm gonna walk around the house and practice them. Yeah, we're gonna.
I have a favorite comedian, but he's from way back in the day. I bet you can't do his impersonation.
Who's that?
His name is Paul Mooney.
Well, basically, if you really think that I can't do Paul Mooney, you've lost your mind. You know, I've been around from many, many periods ago. Little girl, who doesn't know about Paul Mooney?
Oh my
I've been talking about white. Listen. I've been talking about white people all my life, and even after my death, I'm still here harassing them and chasing them out of the venue. Yes.
And the award, and the Academy Award for impersonation goes to. Wow. All right.
Just for 3 little ones. Wait till I can do about 50 of them. Wait till you can just call out anyone and I can do it. We're gonna practice.
I just did. I just said Mike Tyson. You paid for it. I said obscure comedian Paul Mooney. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there tonight, and next time I'm gonna throw another one at you.
All right, I'm game for it. I'll be like that baseball player at spring training in the cage.
I don't want you to do this tonight. On the next one, I want you to do Donald Trump. Not tonight.
Yeah, I'll do it. I already got the body language down.
Now I know you can do black men. I want to see if you can do a white guy next time.
Well, I would have to say that sounded pretty queer when you said, you know, I can do a black guy, and when you want to see me do a white guy. I know Lance is straight. You heard about me, but we don't talk about that.
Okay, Paul. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right, y'all.
I'm gonna go then.
Y'all have a good night.
Yes, good to end on a laugh. We'll be back tomorrow. Either I'll do a live show tomorrow, but I want to do some recordings and stuff, some things that were requested. So, you know, we're gonna flow like that. But you know, it's always spontaneous, and these are the best. But thank you all so much, and we will do this again within 24 hours.
Woohoo! All right.
Check. Critic in the
Have a
house.
good night, everybody.
Peace,
All right.
family.
Have a good
Take
night,
care.
everybody. Bye.
All right. Good night. Much love. Much love.